Oh, very good evening, everybody. Nice to have your company wherever you're tuning in all around Australia or indeed the world across Facebook, Twitch and YouTube, the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club. Welcome to Thursday Night Motorsport, Week 7 of Term 4, 2023. Night 4 of Week 7. And yes, we are edging closer to the checkered flag here on this night in 3 weeks' time, the 30th of November. Checkered flag falls for the final time on season 15 for this club. And what a season it is shaping up to be in terms of the path to the checkered flag and the conclusion of it, because what we've seen so far has just whet the appetite for what's still to come. And first up tonight, first cab off the rank, an American doubleheader. We're at the Monterey circuit, Laguna Seca, WeatherTech Raceway, Laguna Seca, Monterey, California, for our one of our favourites on the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club. Of course, with thanks to the newest sponsor on the club platforms, the great people at Spreyton. It is Spreyton side of Formula V and races 19, 20 and 21 of the campaign. 11:40 local circuit time there. Track temperature 35 degrees, the ambient 29. Beautiful day for the middle of November, the last month of autumn in those parts of the world before they dive into a deep cold winter. 3.57 kilometre circuit, and we are running the full and only configuration of it tonight. I'm Zach Cabin. Daniel Carrier-Sar is here alongside me. We are ready to rock and roll. Daniel, the season hasn't disappointed thus far, and Formula V, despite having a couple of notable front runners, is always as difficult as trying to predict the lotto numbers. It is an open lottery. It is a bingo draw type setup here, but good to see an old experienced hand in John Merritt back in the server. And Chapo's there too.
Yeah, mate. It should be a fantastic night of racing. I'm really interested to see how a big boy track like Laguna Seca will go with the Formula Vs. And I can already imagine one of the corners in particular, the 10-story drop of the corkscrew, might prove a little bit challenging for these guys. But every single round has shown incredible close racing, and I expect this to be no different.
Indeed. Let's have a look at the grid for race 1. It is the 10-minute sprint race here. We'll get into the 2 15-minute races a little bit later on. John Merritt and Sam Chapman the front row, Chris Noble and Russ Green the second. Chris has been a race winner in this series so far this season as well. Adam Lavis and Nick Wood from the third row, Jared Knight, Lane Thoburn the fourth. And of course you go back to Adam Proctor and Kevin Henderson on the fifth. Good to see both Russ and Jared in the same server. 6th row, Sean McKenzie, Tony Baker. 7th row, McKenzie's back. That's good to see. 7th row, Phil King, Grant Gill. 8th row, Aidan Schultz, Jonathan Hooper. 9th row, Sean Rees, Phil Butler. 10th row, Pete Matson and Brendan Nealon. 11th row is where you're going to find Liam Banks and Gary Wellman. 12th row, Steve Hoppett and Craig Russell. 13th row, Dean Logsdale and Adam St. John, Adam Ambo, are both listed there as in the server, but they might not take the start. Pete Matson yet to hop into his position, so too John Merritt. We're ready to rock and roll. We wait to see if Merritt will join them on the grid. They've got it. There he is. We've got about half a minute here before starters' orders will be in full swing, and we'll get underway. Nice to be back with you on a Thursday night. I've had a couple of weeks off, but hopefully all charged up and ready to fire on the way through to the checkered flag. Onboards are courtesy of Vorbeck Australia. This is Spreyton Cider, Thursday Night Motorsport from Laguna Seca. And the Porsche is still to come, of course, once we're done here. All boxed and ready. Red lights will be on any tick of the clock. We're without the three at the back of the field. Craig Russell, Dean Logsdale and Adam St. John. 23 Vs ready to fire on a Thursday night. Let's go. Clean start. Good start, John Merritt. As the field makes its way down towards the first corner. Sam Chapman, Chris Noble, Adam Lavis, Russ Green and Nick Wood make up the top 6. And it's a clean getaway for John Merritt. Chapman, Noble, Lavis, Green and Wood. 3 wide a little bit further back and 2 wide as well. But we're okay. We're off to a safe start in Monterey. So many trouble points around this circuit as well. Oh, off we go. There goes Grant Gill for a trip through the sand and dirt, which awaits left and right of the circuit here. And now 3 wide on the run up the hill for the first time to turn 5. Down the inside goes Thoburn. Chris Noble and Sam Chapman arguing over the same piece of real estate a little bit further ahead. Noble's got up in a second spot. They're 3 wide as well. Have a look at Merritt holding on there on the inside. And in behind them are Chapman, Lavis and Green. It didn't take long. We're on in earnest here. The shots have been fired. Two by two through the corkscrew. Chapman holding on to third for the moment. In behind, both Noble and Merritt. Lavis and Green arguing over the same piece of real estate. We go back to Wood and Thoburn with Henderson in close tow. So too Jared Knight, Tony Baker and Sean McKenzie. Whoa, wild stuff. They had the elbows out. They had the wheels in the dirt. They were drifting. That was good to see. Across the line we go. One lap gone. Merritt holding on for dear life here. Chapman and Noble, then Lavis and Green. Down the inside goes Merritt to hold the lead and hold sway for the moment.
They've done well so far. No major incidents. I can see that Steve Hoppett did have an excursion to the outside of the track, so that's one. And it seems that Phil Butler also had a bit of an off, and Grant Gill earlier on. But otherwise, everything seems to be okay. We've got some bubbles forming as well, the front 5 here. And a slight gap to the next 8, I believe.
Not bad. Up the hill for the first time. The second time, I should say. So Merritt and Noble arguing over the same piece of real estate. Now Noble goes deep to the inside.
Oh, what catches the slide?
Takes up a moment from Noble. How the hell did he hang on to that? And Merritt pounces, swoops around the outside and reclaims the lead. Oh, 10 out of 10 on the save from Noble. Lavis and Green in behind that. It's a race in 5 at the front, then 4 behind that. Whoa. That's ridiculous. Absolutely bloody ridiculous. Good stuff. We're enjoying it. We hope you are as well. Down the outside goes Lavis to third. Lavis to third around the outside of Chapman. Chris Noble's proven that you don't want to be at the front too early in this thing. 1 minute 43 the standing lap time, so we're heading for 6 laps here in this race. They won't get any change out of 6. Merritt, Noble, Lavis, Chapman, Green, Thoburn and Wood, the top 7. Behind that, Baker, Henderson and McKenzie. So a race in 2 at the front. Merritt and Noble. They've gapped Lavis, Chapman and Green. And this is the thing. I didn't get a good enough chance to look at the form guide coming into Laguna Seca and what you guys have watched and witnessed over the last 2 weeks. I'll be perfectly honest about that. But Laguna Seca strikes me as one of those circuits where you'll get a little bit of that pack racing, but it won't take much to split and divide them. We're seeing evidence of that here now. Merritt holding on. Noble second. Lavis, Chapman, Green, Coburn. Baker! Round goes Nick Wood! There's the second one to bite the dust. Grant Gill being the first. Down they come again. Lavis under pressure here from Chapman. Lavis trying to hold on to third place, does so momentarily. There's nothing comfortable about that at the moment. As it is, John Merritt's cleared, checked out, taken off. Noble, Lavis, Chapman, Green. It's a racing 3 for third. They're trying to latch back onto Noble. Noble's about to lose Merritt. We're on lap 4. Lavis. It sounded as though that engine was begging for mercy there momentarily.
It sounded like it was an early shift. And Sam Chapman's definitely gone pie.
Got him. Good work.
So, yeah, I think
Up the hill.
The money there.
So it's lap 4. Noble, the fastest lap of the race, 1:42.704, has latched back onto Merritt. Now look at this. Baker. Baker down the inside of Thoburn. Gotcha. Thanks for coming. Thoburn gets him back. The up and under. Beautiful from Thoburn. Perfect execution. Didn't let Baker's pressure get the better of him. Responded nicely. And now here comes Kevin Anderson. Hendo. The outside, trying for P7. Can't get it done. Back onto the main straight again. Another lap gone. Merritt, Noble, Chapman, Lavis, and Green, the top 5. Baker and Henderson still side by side. Hendo's got to be careful, though, because of the presence of Sean McKenzie. Oh, unlucky for McKenzie. Ended up pushed out wide there. And tucked back in, held on to 9th. They've gapped Jared Knight, who's running a lonely 10th at the top of the shot. Now, next time by, white flag flies. Noble! Noble! Up the outside! Noble outside to the lead on John Merritt. Noble to the lead. Shots fired and gloves off at the front because now it's a 5-way fight. Oh boy. Here we go. Closing stages for you, ladies and gentlemen, of race 1, a Spreyton Cider Formula V from WeatherTech Raceway, Laguna, Seca. Chapman relinquishes, had a look at second, trying to get by Merritt, couldn't. To turn 10 we go. The run up to 11. 5-way fight at the front of the field. Let's do this one more time around. Last lap board in the air. Noble leads it at the post. Merritt down the inside gets him. Gets him on the run down to turn 1. Merritt will lead this thing. But look at the pressure looming from Sam Chapman, who wants to make it 3 wide down on the outside to the left-hander at the bottom of the hill. Big send from Lavis, maybe too deep. Open up the door. Down the inside goes Russ Green. Into 4th place, and Lavis all of a sudden is on the outer in this fight. Merritt leads it. Noble 2nd. Chapman 3rd. Green 4th. Noble, Chapman. Chapman! Down the inside goes to P2. Noble's off the circuit. Kicked up a bit of dust. Got back on. Has pressure mounting from Green up on the outside. Green... He's the cat amongst the pigeons here. I often say, Formula V, it's a lottery. Expect the unexpected. You'll occasionally get a surprise result. This is the surprise result tonight so far. Ross Green in 3rd. Merritt doing a nice job holding on. Here comes Chapman. Sean McKenzie's off the road further back. We'll get back to that in a moment. Chapman down the outside. Merritt up at the inside. Chapman couldn't get down on the inside far enough. Merritt covers him off for the moment. He's going to have to get a monumental run under the main straight to stop Chapman in the toe, though. Noble got hung out to dry. Noble's back to 5th. Lavis gets up to 4th. Green is holding on to 3rd and holding steady. Up the outside goes Chapman because Merritt boxed him that way. Merritt drove defensively down the inside and made Chapman go the long way round. Now it's a drag race to the line. Now it's a drag race to the line. They are well banging. Chapman! Chapman got it! Chapman got it by 1/100th of a second. Russ Green came from out of the class speed within 1600ths of a second. Sam Chapman gets the job done, beats John Merritt at his own game. Merritt did everything to make that as extremely difficult as possible for Chapo, but Chapo still found a way to get the job done. Have a look at this again. Oh, there was definite wheel contact there. Wheel to wheel, bang, bang. Definitely. Bang. That's what 1,000th of a second looks like. Oh, boy.
Oh, boy.
Chapman by a nose. Chapman by a nose. That's all we have to say at that.
Oh, Sean McKenzie. Well off the circuit there. Steve Hopper just crossing the line, but it really is all the way to the line. John Merritt had a fantastic lead going into that final lap. But then as they came up the hill to the start of the corkscrew, Sam Chapman closed the gap by just fields. And then managed to just sneak it right at the end. And took the win. Fantastic drive.
So we're ready to go again. We're lining up, saddling up for race 2. There are the results from race, well, actually the invert situation for you. The flip of the top 10 that gives you the results in reverse. 10th was Adam Proctor, 9th was Jared Knight, 8th was Kevin Henderson, 7th in the end was Lane Thurburn, then Tony Baker, Chris Noble, 6th and 5th. Adam Lavis was 4th, Ross Green 3rd, John Merritt and Sam Chapman. Chapman, that was brilliant. That was incredible. Sean Rees and Nick Wood from row 6 were 11th and 12th across the line. Then Pete Matson, Brendan Nealon, Gary Wellman, Jonathan Hooper, Liam Banks, Phil Butler, Grant Gillen, Phil King make up the top 20 on this grid. And then back to Steve Hoppert, Sean McKenzie, Aidan Schultz, and that's it. There is no Craig Russell, Dean Logsdale, or Adam Ambo St. John. We are set for a start on the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club. Race 2 of the night, Spreyton side of Formula V from WeatherTech Raceway. Will it produce the goods just like the first did? We'll find out now. Let's go. It's always interesting when you invert the field. It's fraught with danger in Formula V. No, strong through the middle. Blitz both Proctor and Knight. Tries to go to the lead. Does so to turn 1. Proctor down the inside to cover off Knight.
Oh, no.
Puts him wide. Oh, there they go. There they go. Thoburn caught up in that. So too Noble. The seas part for a few of them, but Russ Green was caught up in that as well. So too Tony Baker. Let's have a look. Round went. Oh, the contact actually happened before that. I think it was Tony Baker. And they just went into one another, one after the other. Thoburn and Baker both off the road. Forget about it. They're done. Baker's on the tow rope off the pit
we've got
line,
a safety car.
and we've got a safety car. Safety car deployed. Safety car deployed. Wow, that ruins the fun.
A little bit.
We were heading for 9 laps. It'll now be 8. I would imagine. Let's have a look at it again. This was Tony Baker. Watch him on the inside there. I reckon as he was sliding, he clipped Adam Lavis. Lavis terribly lucky to get away with that. And then it was a knock-on chain reaction. Both Noble and Thoburn caught up in that, the two teammates. And, yeah, we often say that these reverse grid setups or these invert setups are fraught with danger. That proved it. There you go. Bang. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. At least 8 cars compromised by that. There are 2 cars in pit lane. Sam Chapman is off the road under the safety car. I don't know how that happens. You need to have a look at that. Here come the leaders back to the start-finish line. Hendo has control of the race.
So a ton of cars going into pit lane now.
Well, and why not? I mean, it's
Yeah.
a free pass. It's a free kick. Get into pit lane, get a fast repair, get back out there, join the tail of the field, and hope for the best.
And you're definitely not counted out even if you do start at the back, because we've seen it time and time again.
Yep.
It's very easy to race these cars. You can get really, really good moves done. Obviously, it's more advantageous if you're at the front end of the grid than if you are at the back end. But even so, we've seen many good passes happen. And it's just unfortunate that so many cars got involved in a turn 1 accident, which unfortunately is not that surprising considering turn 1 at Laguna Seca, which I believe is the Andretti hairpin, if I remember correctly.
Yep.
I think that's how it's referred to. cold tires on the start. Everyone's sort of, adrenaline's pumping and trying to go in there, and you just misjudge the amount of speed that you're carrying. The back of the V kicks out on you. You don't really have anywhere to go, and then knock on effect. So unfortunate for everyone there, but Graham Stewart in the chat. Very good.
Always the way. All right, well, we're getting ready to rock and roll again here. Around Monterey, California, we've got the safety car out for another lap at least. And then we'll get back on with the business and the task at hand. And, yeah, race 1 produced plenty of great action. Race 2's provided the laughs off the start, provided the fireworks and the frustration for those in the server. And now that we've bunched everybody up, we've calmed down again, we've caught our breath, and we'll get back into this in single file formation next time by.
So everybody will have come out of the pits already. The only car that isn't part of that initial group, I believe, is Phil Butler. So that's car 67, who's just, if you look at that track map on the top right of your screen, you'll see that he's just coming through the corkscrew now. So he should be able to catch the field. Maybe not, actually. Speed differential is quite large. We'll see. In any case, there's a couple of others just coming out of the pits now. And then that safety car light is still showing as on. But I wouldn't be surprised if we do go under green in the next go round.
So hopefully the lights will go out on the safety car and we'll get back to work here. If not, it will be a very quick, short, sharp race, this one, because the race is, the clock's getting away from us very quickly here under the safety car, and the race is neutralised until such time as that safety car comes to pit lane. And normally the lights would be out by this point, so that makes me think that we might actually be stuck with this one for another lap, in which case you can probably take off another lap off the race count, depending upon the time that we lose here. 2:05.923, first time past the strike. Phil Butler still in pit lane. Tony Baker back out on the racetrack, but a lap down. Wayne Thoburn back out, but 2 laps down. Russ Green pitted, so too Chris Noble. Now we wait to see. Yep, the safety car looks like we'll go around one more time. Don't forget, we've got the Porsches coming up. The Porsches will be dishing out the goods in sprint form tonight. Watkins, Glen, is it?
Yes, the cup format.
Oh, boy, yeah. How good. That will be fantastic. I cannot wait.
So they can go high speed through the chicane and then round back onto the back sector rather than having to go through the boot section. So we should see some really good passing opportunities there. I believe it is the chicane format. I don't think they've cut that out. It'll be the chicane format just with a shortened horseshoe back onto turn, and it escapes me now. But a good format. It's a good track layout, fast and fun. Watkins Glen is great. Watkins Glen, I think, is one of those. I don't know. I might be out of turn here, but it's one of those tracks where I think if you're a motorsport fan, you know it. Like if someone said to you Watkins Glen, you'd be like, yeah. But if you were to go to a more casual fan, the only way a casual fan would experience Watkins Glen is, let's see, NASCAR?
Yeah.
And the 6 hours of the Glen.
The 6 hours, the sale and 6 hour.
Yeah.
Because IndyCar no longer goes there.
That's correct. So, which is a shame, because Formula One is obviously hosted way back. Way back. But it did host some Formula One rounds. And yes, we've had IndyCar there. The kart championship has gone there before. We've had many, many different sports car championships go to the Glen. But it seems to have fallen out of favour with a lot of these, which is a shame because it's a great track. Living under a rock. If you're not, well, again, I agree with you, Graham, but at the same time, I was referring to like a casual fan, like someone. If you said someone was like a fan of the supercars, they'd probably be able to name Sydney Motorsport Park, Bathurst, Adelaide, Albert Park, things like that. But maybe if you said Barbagallo, would they know straight away what you mean?
That's a fair question.
Or Caldwell Park, or even Oran Park for that matter. I mean, everyone should know.
Oh, hey, get set. The fireworks are on here, boys.
Yes.
Have a look at what we've got. We've got a double file rolling restart here. Now, that comes as a little bit of a surprise. So the fireworks are about to explode once more. The gloves will be off. Let's get back to work at WeatherTech Raceway, Laguna, Seca. Round 7, Spreyton side of Formula V, and Hendo under pressure immediately from Jared Knight, and Adam Proctor up on the outside. Hendo maintaining the lead right here and now. Down the inside goes John Merritt, trying to get by Adam Proctor, wasn't able to do so just yet. Now he does. Now he's covered Proctor off, but Proctor's fighting back on the inside. No stranger, very experienced hand in Formula V is Adam Proctor. Holds John Merritt at bay for a little while longer. Adam Lavis is lurking there as well. And then Nick Wood, Sean Rees, Pete Matson, Gary Wellman and Jonathan Hooper, the top 10. Clean restart. Good to see. Down the inside goes Jared Knight on Kevin Anderson. 90 leads at Laguna. Through they go once more. Merritt down the inside of Proctor. Job done. Proctor got hung out to dry. Be careful of Adam Lavis lurking in the shadows there up on the inside on driver's left as they head up towards the corkscrew. Lavis trying to dive. Can't get it done on Proctor just yet. Proctor will hold on a little bit longer. Up there on the outside is Nick Wood. Sean Rees is in this fight as well. 7-way fight for the lead, ladies and gentlemen. Good to see Barney doing his job tonight as well, I might add. Back to the line, 3 laps to go. 3 laps to go. So we're going to get 8 laps in here. Just by the nick of, in the nick of time, just by the skin of our teeth here. Across the line we go. Knight, Merritt 144.623. Merritt to the lead. Merritt down the inside. Got him. Knight back down the inside on the exit of turn 1. Or is he on the outside? Hanging tough. He's on the outside. Got him. Hendo under pressure from Proctor. Proctor to Lavis, Wood. Wood has Rees there and Pete Matson as well, if you don't mind. So 8 cars strong is this Ford pack at the moment, and I think Grant Gill might be trying to latch on as well and go with them. It's an invert race. John Merritt trying to find his way back to the front. Have a look at Hendo. Hendo trying to get the up and under on Merritt. That's not going to work. Merritt drives nice and defensive on the exit. Suckered Hendo into going wide. Then he used that advantage to go on the inside and get by Knight. Nicely done from Hot Lap. Hot Lap leads up the hill one more time. 2 to go at the line. Merritt doing a nice job here with Knight in tow. Lavis's 5th car in the queue. Trying to get down the inside of Proctor. Can't do it. Wow, that was deep. That was a hairy moment. Hendo loses out. No, in fact, he was trying to hang there on the inside. Proctor went wide. Proctor hit the dirt. Proctor trying to get back by Hendo. Can't do it. Has to yield. Oh, boy. 2 to go. 2 to go at the strike.
Grant Gill has managed to catch up to this pack, and so has Pete Matson. So you're talking a 9-car fight here for the front of this motor race.
I get the feeling last lap Zach might get a workout here. Across the line we go one more time. How good's this? This is top shelf, top draw. Down the outside goes Knight on. Merritt can't get it done. Hendo's still there as well. This is awesome. Graham Stewart, I always love it when Graham stops by the comment thread. You get a little bit of comedy for your motor racing. It's good. But he's got a point. The man is a genius, John Merritt, when he joins the fold for Formula V. From 10th or 9th in this case on the grid, up 8 spots. And he did it in bugger all time as well. Up the hill we go. Adam Proctor all over the back of Hendo, but Hendo now losing the train. John Merritt.
Oh!
Right. Whoa! That was close. Adam Proctor nearly got run out of real estate there, nearly ran out of room.
Oh, he's tapped it!
Proctor. Oh, there goes Jared Knight. Jared Knight's gone. Let's have a look at this again. Oh dear. Unlucky for Jared Knight. Main straight, white flag in the air. One more time around at Laguna. Proctor sitting in second at the moment. And no under pressure from Sean Rees, if you don't mind. There's another string in the bow. There's another feather in the cap. Down the outside goes Hendo. Rees trying to cover him up on the inside. That upsets the apple cart. Rees holding down third. There's always a surprise packet in these invert races, and Sean Rees from 11th is one of them. Kevin Anderson, Nick Wood, Adam Lavis and Grant Gill. Gill up 12 spots. Watch Gill ready to fire in race 3 in a few moments' time. Thursday night motorsport on the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club. Nick Wood there in 5th place, looking all over the back of Kevin Anderson and Sean Rees. Hendo down the inside of Rees, or up the outside rather. Hendo up the outside at 5. Wow, that was impressive. Has gone. So too Merritt. Forget about them. It's done. This fight is 5, 6 deep. The 3rd through 8th. And up the inside now, Hendo trying to get by Sean Rees. Rees trying to keep Hendo at bay. Hendo up the outside to put himself on the inside for 9. Have a look at this. Got him. Rees will try and get back down the inside. But Hendo, if he can hang tough around the outside, will have the inside running for 10. No, he got bucked. He got hung out. He got boxed out of it. And up the outside instead is Nick Wood. Wood ranges.
Oh, Lavis!
Lavis nearly got into the rear of Hendo. And that allows Grant Gill to get up the outside and capitalise on that. Pete Matson's in there as well. John Merritt flares up. Gets redemption after that. No loss in race 1. Proctor, Wood, Rees, Henderson, Gill, Lavis and Matson. The top 8.
Nick Wood manages to grab.
Around,
yeah.
And Nick Wood got a podium. Nick Wood edged out Rees in a photo for the podium. Wow. What about Hendo? 3rd for so much of that race, and then hung out to dry with a rather ambitious move at the corkscrew that came up short. And in all of that, how the bloody hell did Adam Lavis not end up turned around?
So yeah, Sean Rees, it's coming up on the timing tower as 0.00. So
I've got 0.01. So there's a little indiscrepancy there, but that's not unlike iRacing at all. Actually, who among us is an Optus customer, please? I mean,
wow, yeah.
I haven't been on air since Monday night, obviously, and Monday night the world was fine and dandy, and then Wednesday I'm driving from Cessnock back to Ipswich, and winding the clock back 112 years in the process, and all of a sudden I get to Coffs Harbour, and then I get on to Murwillumbah, and I'm getting these emails saying the old Floptus has struck again. And I thought, for the first time in 18 years, it's actually paying off to be a Telstra customer today.
Yeah, well, Graham, Optus customers are watching right now. Well, yeah, I didn't really understand the severity of the outage because, like you, I'm a Telstra customer. I'm with specifically I'm with Tangerine that use the Telstra network, and I went with them for that specific reason because the Telstra network seems to be the more reliable one in Australia. He did say Floptus, which is great. Never heard that before, but I will be referring to them from now on.
That term was first coined in 2018 when they made an absolute mockery of the FIFA World Cup coverage, if you remember.
Oh, okay. That is ringing some bells, actually.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah, no, I had some friends who were complaining. Not that I heard about the complaining until hours after, because
That's
they
right. Correct.
they suffered from the outage. So
No, no, it's up in
apparently,
the silence.
yeah, well, that's correct. But apparently there's some serious compensation getting chased after because of that. So keep your eyes peeled on that. And if you are one of those affected customers, you might be able to get something out of it. I don't know what it is. I just have seen some talks about some actions moving forward. So we're just waiting for the warm-up period to end. There we go. Must be Queensland-based.
Jordan Malcolm's got a point. Jordan Malcolm's got a point. Don't feed me straight lines like that this early in the night, Jordan. I'm already mourning the fact that I'm back here for 5 weeks, for goodness sake. John Merritt, Adam Proctor, Nick Wood, Sean Rees, Kevin Henderson, and Grant Gill, the first 3 rows on the grid for race 3 of round 7, race 21 of the campaign. Adam Lavis, Pete Matson, Sam Chapman, and Jonathan Hooper make up the top 10. Phil King, Liam Banks, Jared Knight, Gary Wellman, and Chris Noble take us back to 15th. Brendan Nealon, Steve Hoppert, Aidan Schultz, Phil Butler, and Lane Thoburn to 20. 21 is Sean McKenzie, 22 is Russ Green, and 23 is Tony Baker. So look at that, like Thoburn, McKenzie, Green, Baker, and then the list goes on of names that were inside the top 10 for a long while there that'll be trying to get back into it in this race. I mean, I'm looking at further up the field, you've got Nealon, you've got Noble, you've got Knight. All those guys fighting for 10 spots. Banksy's bailed out of it. No Liam Banks on the grid here. Final race of round 7. Let's go. Beautiful start, Adam Proctor, but an even better start from John Merritt down the inside. Merritt's gone. Merritt takes off. Reads the field down to 1. Now the duel are jockeying for positions. There goes Adam Lavis. He got a crowd on the way through. And I think it might have been either Noble or Thoburn. And Mackenzie's caught up in that one as well. Let's have a look at it. This was Lavis fighting with the car already, and then it went away from him. Bang. It wasn't actually Thoburn or Noble. Nealon got caught up in that. I'm not sure who it was that clouted. And Mackenzie too. I'm not sure who it was that clouded Lavis on the way through. I apologise. Jared Knight now showing off the right. There goes Nick Wood. That's happening live. He's not the only one. They're going everywhere at Laguna. Russ Green also caught up in that. Oh boy. Brendan Nealon too. And the rest of the field is fighting for the minors very early in the piece here. Chapman, Henderson, Rees, Gill and Matson, the top 5 beyond. Sorry, from 3rd back to 7th. The 5 cars in that fight for the minor placings. Hoppert and Schultz have now lit up an off-track alert. And race control not throwing a safety car this time round. So if you're in trouble early here, you're on your own. Down the inside. Jared Knight, Brendan Nealon, Sean McKenzie and Russ Green all on pit road. Down the outside, down the inside goes Grant Gill. On the outside is Pete Matson. And this is good stuff. John Merritt, Adam Proctor, Sam Chapman, Kevin Henderson, Sean Rees, Grant Gill, Pete Matson, Gary Wellman, Chris Noble and Lane Thoburn with the top 10 after the opening lap.
So John Merritt took an incredibly early lead off the line. He went basically unopposed into that first turn. But throughout the rest of the lap, Adam Proctor did manage to get back up there, 3/10 now. But it is truly a fight for those two and those two alone. Sam Chapman is 1 second down the road. So he's got some work to do. If Adam and Merritt at the front continue to fight hard, That'll make Sam Chapman's job a lot easier, but Sam also has to keep an eye on those mirrors because Kevin Henderson is coming, and he's coming hard. Right there in P4, but then there's a decent gap between himself and P5, so it will eventually develop to a 4-car race at the front.
So Proctor in second spot, doing a nice job of it here, keeping Hot Lap honest. And Chapman trying to go with them. Henderson too, but it's a race in 4. They've gapped the rest of the pack. Sean Reeves, Grant Gill, Pete Matson, Chris Noble, Gary Wellman, very much fighting for the minors now. Because once you're a second behind in Formula V, let alone 2, it's daylight. It's as good as curtains. Down the outside, yep, Proctor wants to hang it down the outside and can't get it done. Sam Chapman, 1:42.394, fastest lap of the race. Doing a nice job of it, actually, is Chapman trying to latch onto this fight here and make it a 3-way battle for the lead.
Well, he pushed so hard, he dropped Kevin Henderson into another postcode. 1.45 seconds at the end of the lap. So Sam Chapman not only sets the fastest lap, but just ditches everyone else. And so he very seriously, as you said, wants to get into the front to fight with the top 2. And at his current pace, he'll do so without a care in the world. But whether or not he can keep the lead is a different story.
Merritt, Proctor, Chapman, and Henderson, the top 4. Hendo's gone from that fight. He's a very lonely 4th at the moment, 3 seconds clear of Grant Gill. So, only, well, actually, let's have a look at this. Jared Knight's out of business, Sean McKenzie's out of business, Russ Green's out of business, Brendan Nealon's a lap down, Aidan Schultz is in pit lane, and I think he's about to park up for the night as well. So, the attrition rate is climbing here. Phil King started from pit lane, it would appear. So too, Adam Lavis has been in and out for a fast repairs. So too, Phil Butler. So that's, 6 or 7 cars already out of business here. Merritt, Proctor, and Chapman, the top 3. Proctor leaves the door open and Chapman goes through. Can Chapman repeat the heroics of race 1, where he pipped John Merritt by 0.15 of a second? We shall wait and see. 1:42.394, fastest lap of the race. He's got by Proctor. Now it's about reeling in John Merritt. And Merritt is going about things rather strategically here. There's a bit of gamesmanship at stake. And on show, as Merritt gets a little bit creative with these race lines, trying to break the potential tow and drag and draft opportunities, slipstream opportunities for Sam Chapman. To the top of the hill we go.
Just to bring light to Graham's earlier message in the chat there, saying that Laguna Seca was arguably a top 10 track. 100%. It's one of those tracks where it lives in fame or infamy, depending how you want to look at it, due to the corkscrew. And it's also one of those tracks that, is kind of a staple in every single racing game that deals with real-world motorsport. So, also provides such great racing in the real world. So much so that the safety car in the IndyCar final ran out of fuel.
Yep.
And had to be topped up.
Exactly. And that's the other thing as well. Let's come back to IndyCar and gaming at the end of the broadcast. Because, yes, that has been the talk of the town this week, hasn't it? Jesus.
Yes.
Yes. 7.5 minutes gone. We're on lap 5. Merritt leads Chapman second. Chapman fastest lap of the race, 1:42.216. Then Proctor, Henderson, Noble, Gill, Reeves, Wellman, Thoburn, Baker, the top 10. Hooper and Matson, the top 12. And out back onto the racetrack comes Nick Wood. So count him out of contention as well now. Down to 12 genuine contenders in this race, but that number is dwindling rapidly. 1:42.216 for Chapman. 1:42.216 for Proctor. 1:42.216 for Henderson. 1:42.216 for Gill. 1:42.216 for Matson. 1:42.216 for Thoburn. 1:42.216 for Hooper. 1:42.216 for Baker. The top 10. Hooper and Matson, the top 12. And out back onto the racetrack comes Nick Wood. So count him out of contention as well now. Down to 12 genuine contenders in this race, but that number is dwindling rapidly. Watch Chapman. Lurking up onto the back of John Merritt now. Lunging. Merritt leads him to the corkscrew one more time. We're riding on board with Sam Chapman. Merritt doing a nice job. Chapman, Proctor, Henderson, Noble, and then Gill, Rees, Wellman, and Thoburn, the top 9. Hooper's just got by Baker for 10th, and that's quickly reverted. Down the main straight we go. Merritt doing a nice job. Controlling this one, but for how long? Because Chapman wants to have something to say about that, and I'm sure Proctor would love to latch back on, but they're slowly but surely creeping away from Adam Proctor. Down the outside. Not yet. 5 down, 4 to go.
The draft effect is pronounced. It's very, very powerful in these cars, especially up the hill. The engines really tend to suffer, so if you don't have to deal with the air resistance while you're doing so, then you gain a ton of speed, which will become ever-present in the next couple of corners. You'll see that grey car of Sam Chapman really bring up the rear. As John, he's already there, and it's only going to get worse. Here we go. So John will try and take the inside and maybe hold that line. Sam Chapman might try and look for an outside move, but it's not advised. It's better if you actually go down in one line if you can't hold the racing line. Side by side is usually never advised. And that's what they do, and that's actually allowed Adam Proctor to close up the gap a little bit as well. So Merritt still well and truly in the lead of this race, but as the time dwindles down, we have 5 minutes to go, and we've seen that the lead is not safe in the V's.
Down onto the main straight, 3 laps to go, and it's Merritt, Chapman, and Proctor. Daylight to Henderson. A gap back to Noble and Gill, fighting over 5th. That'd be a great result for Grant if he could get up there. A few surprise packets tonight in the results here. But Gill often brings some good form to Formula V, and with good form, you've also got to bring good luck. He hasn't always had that. Now, that's Jonathan Hooper. So that, I reckon Jonathan Hooper now just getting a second proper look at the car. I reckon that was the one that got into trouble with Adam Lavis on the opening lap. So he's doing well to still be in this fight. How much damage he sustained, how damaged the car is that he's persevering with on the back of that incident and the collision with Lavis remains to be seen. It's not known. But Hooper holding down 11th, trying to get into the 10 by displacing Tony Baker, but that's proving rather challenging, rather difficult. Thoburn!
He's cooked it completely.
Not anymore. Off he goes, and he took Gary Wellman with him. Wellman got back on with it. But Thoburn's done for the night. Let's have a look at this. He definitely took Wellman with him, but Wellman got away with it rather unharmed, all things considered. Rather unscathed. He'll lose a little bit of ground, obviously, to Sean Rees. But only now has Thoburn got back on with it, and he's 12th. Oh, these are championship-defining moments, aren't they? Merritt will bring him back to the start-finish line with 2 laps to go.
Merritt is doing a fantastic job out the front here, but I can't help but wonder, is Chapman leaving him ahead on purpose?
Strategic gamesmanship, do you think?
Well, it's become so obvious that if you've got a track with a sharp final corner and a proper run to the line, it is not advantageous for you to be at the front because the draft is so strong. So for Sam, I don't see any benefit for him to overtake at all until the final part of the race. Now, in John's head, he might be thinking, well, I could do a couple of things. I could either try and slow him up. Oh, no! They've come together, and Adam Proctor runs straight past them both.
Wow. And that is a championship-defining moment for Sam Chapman. And it's a race-defining moment for both of them. Have a look at this. Oh, wow. Chapman was just too late on the brakes. He slammed into the back of John Merritt, and that has opened the floodgates. Adam Proctor now has a 5-second lead over Chris Noble. But Noble's now under pressure from John Merritt, Kevin Henderson, Grant Giller in there, and so too Sam Chapman. So all of a sudden, we've got a 5-car fight for second. You wouldn't fair dinkum read about it. You wouldn't fair dinkum read about it. Adam Proctor, sometimes it just pays to bide your time. The old experienced hand of Formula V racing in the real world. He was a star in the real world before it became a sim feature. He's now on track to pick up an enormous win here with the white flag in the air. In race 3 of round 7 of Spreyton Insiders Formula V on the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club. Have a look at this. Noble defending. Merritt down the inside. Henderson up the outside. Merritt trying to cover off Henderson and pounce on Noble and attack Noble. Not happening just yet. Chapman is the tail of the train here in 6th place. And I reckon he'll have a case to answer for with race control after the fact as well.
Let's just have a quick snapshot about that too. Chris Noble is currently P2. Have a look at that number next to his name. 13 positions gained.
Extraordinary. Extraordinary. Jordan Malcolm confirming, yep, it does pay to be lucky sometimes. I wouldn't know. I would not know. Proctor, Noble, Merritt, Henderson, Gill, Chapman, Rees, Hooper, Baker, Wellman, the top 10. Have a look at this up the outside. Merritt! Merritt trying to go to second through the corkscrew. Oh, what about that from John Merritt? Class with a capital C. Displaces Noble. Goes back to second on a night that's going to see 3 different winners in Spreyton Cider Formula V on the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club. Last turn, checkered flag. Adam Proctor has got the job done. Don't worry about that. But who's going to win the battle for the minors? Merritt covering off. Noble up the outside. Oh, too good from John Merritt. Oh. Noble's third, and then fourth went to Henderson. Gill edged out Chapman in the fight for 5th. That was good stuff. Now, Graham Stewart, I consider myself lucky to be in Queensland over Victoria. Does that count? No, I'd book an appointment with a doctor if you consider yourself lucky to be in Queensland over Victoria, Graham. Fair dinkum, give yourself an uppercut. You can have the winter climate that Queensland brings to the table every day of the week, but not in summer any time at all. Thank you very much. 112 years behind, may as well, fair dinkum. As for the rest of it, Sean Rees was 7th, Tony Baker 8th, Jonathan Hooper, Gary Wellman, Pete Matson, then Lane Thoburn, Adam Lavis, Nick Wood and Phil Butler, with Phil King and Steve Hoppett making up the field. And everything beyond that was a blur. Brendan Nealon was 18th and last. Aidan Schultz, Jared Knight, Sean McKenzie and Russ Green did not even make it to the finish line. And Liam Banks did not start. No. Exactly. Trent Lavis pointed it out perfectly. Missed the race start by an hour. Every week. Every week. An hour behind, 112 years behind. It doesn't matter. You won't convince me otherwise. You won't sell me on there being any benefits. Shut up, Trent. You won't convince me otherwise that there are any benefits to being an hour behind. It is completely nonsensical and illogical. All right, Adam Proctor, John Merritt, and Chris Noble, 1, 2, and 3 there. So Merritt, the only common denominator in the top 3. Across the 3 races tonight, I think you'll find. Sam Chapman in race 1, winning from John Merritt, winning race 2, and of course, Adam Proctor winning race 3. So So 3 from 3 so far. 3 different winners from 3 races. Let's see what sprint racing at the Glen dishes up in the Porsches very shortly. We'll have hopefully a chat to a few of these drivers in just a moment. Brendan Nealon unlucky tonight. Caught up in the opening lap garbage. Let's watch that unfold again. So Lavis
got hit really early.
There was contact there. No wonder Lavis was bobbling down to turn 1. We missed that. The contact over the rise, over the crest, and then bang, 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 bang. Everybody that could get caught up in it did get caught up in it. Hello, Jody Baldwin. Very nice. Actually, we need to have a chat to Trucker a little bit later on, I think you'll find, because Trucker has some news that broke earlier in the week that you guys might have covered off last night. But for those that weren't tuning in last night, yes, there's some news regarding the great man Joe Baldwin a little bit later on. Steve Hoppett joins us for a chat here. No positions gained, race 2 to 3. Did you manage to avoid the trouble, Steve?
I managed to avoid everything except my own mistakes.
Oh no. Talk us through the night that was, as frustrating as it may have been, and trying to get your head around this car and this circuit, mate.
Mate, I think while I wasn't looking, somebody put some really old daggy tyres on with the canvas hanging through, because the car was all over the place. I just had no grip. Qualifying was great, practice was great, but in the race, the thing was just loose. I don't know whether it was changing weather conditions or, I got no idea. But, yeah, I was making mistakes that I didn't make in the hour and a half of driving I did before that. So, yeah, just the way things go. And then I got a drive-through in the last race because I put it in gear, put my foot on the brake and on the accelerator and tried to load it up so that I could get a good start. And she jumped forward a little bit. So iRacing decided I was a naughty boy.
Fair enough. Graham Stewart wouldn't mind seeing the Chapman Merritt clash again on replay if possible. We'll see if we can do that for you. Let's have a look at everybody coming down pit lane there. It's hard when iRacing's in charge of half the caper, isn't it? If our race control's only got certain, things that they can control, and iRacing's the discretionary for the rest of it. If you meet the wrath of one, you won't necessarily meet the wrath of the other, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I know what you mean, Zach. Yeah, it's good to have you back, by the way.
Nice to be back, mate.
You loaded up with the throat lozenges and stuff there, are you? Or
I need to be, yeah.
You've been given clearance from the doctor to, push those veins out through your forehead again. Mate, no, look, it's just, I had an ordinary night. I didn't have a really bad night. It just things didn't go my way, and getting the drive through off the start of the third race didn't help, but surprisingly, because of others' mistakes, it didn't really hurt either, which was really strange. The only reason I came into the green room is because you look lonely. There was nobody else around. But you got Sam up here now, so.
And we've got plenty to talk to Sam about as well, mate. Look forward to seeing you back on the Formula V grid next week, mate. What else in the meantime?
Not a lot, mate. I'm still suffering from a dodgy wrist, and I'm fighting that. But, it's an inflammatory arthritis thing, so it sort of comes and goes a little bit. Some days it's worse than others. But, no, look, we'll take it as it comes. And I believe next week is Montreal, which I believe was your pick. And I love that track. But I want to clarify something. Somebody mentioned something earlier. Did you pick it because you like the track and it'd be good racing, or because you reckon there's going to be lots of carnage?
Bit of column A, bit of column B.
Okay.
Bit of column A, bit of column B. I think it'll be absolutely fantastic.
My lap times won't set the world on fire, but I'm very comfortable there, and I'm doing good, consistent laps. So I'm looking forward to next week. I don't know about anybody else. I'll let you get onto it. Talk to Sam. Talk to somebody who actually did something worthwhile tonight we were talking about.
Oh, no, mate. Well, actually, yeah, that's a fair point. Steve, mate, we appreciate you stopping on by for a chat. Thank you for that, and nice to see you out there, and hopefully the results will come.
No worries. Thanks, guys. See you later.
And now there's actually two gentlemen here that I want to talk to. One is Grant Gill, the other is Sam Chapman. I might start with Chapo, if I may. It was all going so well. You pipped John in a photo in race 1. Then races 2 and 3, less said the better. But firstly, let's start with race 3. Let's start with the defining moment. You and John Merritt, nose to tail contact. I think we're going to see it here. I want it from your angle, please.
Oh, yeah, I think that's pretty clear cut. No, that was just crap by me, really. It was just following you too close. It's that aspect that I was almost playing it too safe, so I'd sort of lulled myself into a false sense of security, just following him around for the rest of the race, and braked slightly later than into that corner. It was just too close behind, and bang, just completely threw it away. So defeat from the jaws of victory, I'd say that one, after what was probably one of the best first laps I've ever done. So the night of ups and downs, that race 2 was just hard work, trying to get through the incidents and that sort of thing, and disappointing. I'm sorry to John, and that was unfortunate, and it gave away his chance to win as well.
Indeed it did, mate. The positives, though, let's talk about, okay, obviously, whatever's happened with race 3, race control, probably have a look at that and come back to us. But let's talk about race 1. Perfect run onto the main straight, and you pipped John in a photo. That must have been nice to get one up over Hot Lap, who is a stalwart in Formula V.
Yeah, it was. I'll have to chat to Lee afterwards. He was doing a post-race review of that final lap, though, so we'll see how it comes out in the post. But that was certainly a lot of fun there, especially because I was falling off the back of that pack, those two out front, and was able to sort of make it back up towards that final lap. It was, that was a great battle there. Great battles all across. It was just high risk tonight. There was just a lot of accidents, and it is a really tricky technical track with a few corners that are a bit rear limited, and these things can go around pretty easy in those sort of situations. So,
And you mentioned the start of race 3, mate. You had to avoid trouble, and you managed to do so. As you say, it was a great start, and it was obviously just unfortunate not to be able to finish it off.
Yeah, it was. It's just a silly error. It was. I guess this is why I like to keep things moving a little bit in V races, because just sort of following the back bumper bar, it literally was just, I think I just zoned out for a second, and was slightly later on the brakes, not seeing that he'd jumped on them, and and bang, you lose that. We had a 5-6 second lead to the cars behind, so it was just a real wasted opportunity. At a time of the season where you shouldn't be wasting opportunities like that. So that's all right. I mean, onwards to next week. Just have to be a bit more careful. It's probably a bit on the aggressive side tonight, I guess, and probably a little bit too much so at times.
And your thoughts on next week before I let you go?
I mean, that will be a staying out of trouble sort of round. So hopefully that race 2 sort of situation that happened this time around doesn't happen again. But I'd be surprised if we do get away with that, because I would say that in these, that first corner will be even more tricky at Villeneuve, the way that it sort of comes back and around, and everyone sort of filing in there not long after that start line either. So it will certainly be interesting, but we'll just have to take it with a lot of care, because if you're up at Villeneuve, you'll probably have some wheels hanging off.
All right, mate, very nicely done. Thank you for that. Looking forward to having a quick chat to Grant Gill in just a moment, and then the man that's just joined us in the booth, John Merritt, after that. I'll let you go, Chapo. Thank you. We'll chat to you after the Porsches.
Yep. Thanks, mate.
And if John's racing the Porsches, get to him first, because I'm not.
Oh, you're not? Okay. Hot Lap, are you jumping in the Porsche, please? You there, Hot Lap?
Yeah, sorry, gents. Forgot to push to talk. How are we tonight?
Very well, and you?
Oh, yeah. I was a bit spicy near the end of that race, but I'm all good.
Yeah, I could imagine. Are you jumping in the Porsche or not?
No, I'll got something on now, mate. But
Right. Very
yeah.
nice. Okay, before we let you go anywhere, and before you do, let's pick apart the incident from your angle. Obviously, very disappointing, but the consolation and all that, John, is Chabo picked you by 0.15 of a second in race 1. Photo finish, clean racing. You come out and put on a great show in race 2. Unfortunately, that incident puts pay to any chance of winning race 3. Adam Proctor gets that, but you still fight back well to get second, mate.
Yeah, no, I was lucky enough to get Chris on the last lap there, and look, it was just one of those things with Chabo, so nothing malicious, so all good. But and I think it might be breaking news, a penalty from race 1, so made it not an all bad night.
Oh, okay.
Damn.
Sorry,
So
Chabo.
did you win by
Yeah.
4.98 or was it 9.98?
I think 4.98 or something to that extent.
Okay. So that is unfortunate. So what's race control decided there? They're going to split the result of race 1, are they?
Yeah, a little bit of contact out of the midway through the final turn, which sort of affected the run. So
Okay.
yeah, I think there's a change coming.
All right. So in that, then it all of a sudden becomes a not so bad night for you, John, with 2 Ws.
Yeah, no, it wasn't. It was a good night. Good night, and always fun in these things. And I think the Laguna Seca really lends itself to the car too.
I was going to say, the only thing it does is upset my stats sheet, because I always look for those nights where we've got 5 races on the program and having 5 different winners. You getting the first 2 ruins any plan of that, or any hope of that, but that's okay. It must be nice to get.
Sorry, not sorry.
yeah, exactly. Must be nice to get. Must be nice to get back in this thing though, and just pick up where you leave off.
Oh, mate, just enjoy them, and just the fixed setup factor. Just jump in, and I think that's, as you know, I'm a big advocate for that.
All right, mate, very nicely done. I'm running out of time here because I've got the Porsche standing by. But with regards to Laguna Seca, were you surprised by how close the racing was tonight?
Yeah, look, I think if you couldn't break that second barrier, you just end up with a truly train. So it probably, I did think that probably in race 3 there'd be a breakaway potentially, but just didn't work out that way. And Adam raced very smart early on there, so all credit to him, and well done on the win.
All right, very nicely done. Hey, what's next for you, please?
Mate, we'll definitely probably GT1s next Tuesday, and maybe have a run on Monday if I get a chance.
All right, mate. We certainly hope to see you then. And thanks for stopping on by and being a good sport and having a chat with us tonight. And no doubt the cushion of what happened there in race 3. The blow cushioned a little bit by the fact that you were able to turn the result around of race 1 as well. So it's a double blow for Chapman, that one victory back in the pocket of John Merritt. So it hasn't been all bad for you. We appreciate you stopping by and look forward to chatting soon.
Thanks, Zach. Cheers.
And Grant Gill, welcome back. Good to have you on board. And a top 5 finish to finish it off. Not the easiest night, though. You did get caught up in a little bit of drama along the way.
Yes, indeed. Good evening and welcome back to you.
Thank you. Good to be back.
But yeah, look, last couple of weeks has been all sorts of no good for me, and just getting caught up in other people's accidents. Barbara was horrendous. I think I was involved in accidents 3 of the 3 races, and tonight the first race wasn't looking too good either. But stuck with it and came home 19th, which wasn't anything to write home about. But certainly race 2, that safety car did me a lot of favours.
Certainly did. You and a few others, mate. You were able to jump in and pocket a fast repair, get that out of the road, rejoin the queue. I think I'm right in saying, and then of course
No pit.
There were others that pitted with that in mind. But the safety car, as you say, did you a lot of favours. and then the double file restart as well, Grant.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, as soon as I saw that pop up, I thought I was actually frothing up a bit, getting a bit excited. So, that worked out particularly well. And got to say, the people around me were well behaved. Race 2 starter, wasn't quite sure what happened with Adam. I just saw him pointing towards the ground with his pencil nose there, and I was really hoping it had nothing to do with me. And I think it was just a bit of a squeeze there. And then when I had to look back at it, I saw him trying to pull up into turn 1, and he's just rubbing against my back wheel. And I was particularly fortunate not to. He was rubbing against my back wheel like an excited little puppy, to be honest. But we got out of that one without any damage, and although he did not, his suspension was shot. So that was just 3 into 1, don't go. But look. It was a good night. And final race, I had Chris Noble coming up on the back of me, and I thought, you know what? I talk a big game about playing it smart and being sensible, and there was no way I was going to catch up to old Kevin Henderson on my own. So I just let him by and tucked onto his draft and pulled into a beautiful finish there. It was very, very close right at the end. So a lot of fun.
You're able to catch up with Hendo and nearly put into a position to have a crack, because he hung himself out to dry there on the closing in the closing stages. Chris Noble found a way through, and that almost invited you back in, Grant, but unfortunately you were just a few car lengths too far back.
Yeah, and look, right on the end there, I was defending against Sam. He was going to have a big lunge down the inside, so I said, oh, no, you don't, Sonny Jim, and went in close. But Hendo said exactly the same thing to me, I'm sure, and as he came across, there was just a tiny, tiny little touch, my nose to his tail, which is never the best part of that deal, and just checked me up a bit, and I thought, oh no, Sam's got me on the run to the line, but he was checked up a little bit as well, so that worked out just fine.
And obviously Laguna Seca, is it a circuit that you like, or is it a circuit that you're happy to see the back of?
Yeah, never too fond of this place. A lot of the really heavy aerogenerators don't exist in this car. You can pretty much just point and shoot it, and really critical to get that run up the hill. And I got a couple of drivers. I think Sean Rees I got going up the hill, and I think Endo I pulled up alongside, just on the final lap there. But you get that run right, and you're in good shape. But I was sure I'd be pirouetting like a little ballerina down the hill at the corkscrew all night, because that's been a bit of a recurring theme for me, but not once. I was very pleased.
And Circuit Gilles Villeneuve next week, mate. That should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it depends which side of the camera you're on. It's we talk about aerogenerators, and every one of those turns is an aerogenerator. There'll be people right with you, I'm sure, for the best part. So very much going to be a case of keep it clean and stay in touch, because that big run down the back straight coming up to the World of Champions will be absolutely crucial to be there or thereabouts, and not leading, I should think.
Well, not leading on. No, I would imagine that would be the right plate of attack, but stranger things have happened. Time will tell. Already looking forward to what might unfold next week and how it might unfold, and looking forward to seeing you out there all the same, mates. And any other racing in the meantime? Super 2, Super 3, somewhere in there on Monday?
Maybe. Where are we for Super 2? It's I'll just have a look. I've got it here. And Super 2 will be Chicago Street Circuit. No, you won't see me there.
Okay, fair enough.
Given the GT3s away for the time being, just the old McLaren is not competitive at all. So we'll probably just be the GT4s next week, and then into the Vs again.
All right, very nicely done. Looking forward to seeing you on track, whatever the case may be, whenever the case may be. And well done on the top 5 result in race 3 tonight. Thanks, mate.
Thank you very much.
There he is, Grant Gill. Thanks to Sam Chapman before that as well. And so to John Merritt and Steve Hoppett. We're going to take a break on the platforms of the Gentlemen's Sim Racing Club across Facebook, Twitch and YouTube. More of Thursday Night Motorsport on the other side. It's John Merritt's day at WeatherTech Raceway, Laguna Seca in Monterey. We now go to the other side of America, to the East Coast, to Watkins, Glen in upstate New York, and sprint racing in the Porsches when we come back. Stay with us. It is Thursday Night Motorsport on the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club across Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. Nice to have you along for the ride, wherever you're tuning in this second Thursday of November. Hopefully you're back to winner in the Melbourne Cup earlier in the week. Of course, we have made our way into Watkins Glen International, upstate New York. We've gone from the west coast of America to the east coast, and round 7 of the Porsche Elite Cup Championship with thanks to Spreyton Cider. Championship at the moment. At this point in time, one M. Dench finds his way to the top of the summit, but he's not on the grid tonight. I'll get back to all that in just a few moments and why Dench has been here and isn't going to be here and whatever the case may be. But there's the grid for race 1. It is a sprint round. It is Watkins Glen. It is going to be an absolute beauty. It's Sam Muir and Brendan Whittaker on the front row. Gordon Marshall, Jared Knight, Chris Whittaker and Ross Green make up the next 2 rows. Wayne Hewitt, Ben Woods, the first of the open split. Dane Snadden and Anthony Adshead make up the top 10. Beyond that, we've got David Baz, Paul Wilson, Jake Jackson, Tony Baker, Joe Baldwin, Liam Banks, Brett Bradbury, David Christensen, Matt Schmidtke, and Nick Wood making up the top 20. Adam Lavis, Blake Fitzpatrick, Pete Matson, and Tristan Koch, make up the field. All right, cars all boxed in position, ready to rock and roll. We should have a start any tick of the clock here. It is a 16-minute race first up. We'll follow it up. We'll back it up with a 27-minute race. It is sprint racing on a Thursday night. Grant Gill's stuck around in the commentary box with us. We might get some insights from him as we go. We've got Daniel Correa-Sar and Zach Caban here with you as per usual. Ready to rock and roll. Thursday Night Motorsport across the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club. This is dessert to back up the main course of Formula V. It's Spreyton Cider Porsche Cup Racing. And it's a beautiful start from Sam Muir converting down towards turn 1. Brendan Muir covers across and sees off the attack of Gordon Marshall. And Chris Whittaker's got by Wayne Hewitt and Russ Green on the opening lap. And Snadden's jumped up as well. Can they all get through cleanly? No, they can't. Cars in the wall. Bang. Uh-oh. It's Watkins Glen. You come to expect that. That is Joe Baldwin caught up. And also Ben, Nick Wood it might have been, or Ben Wood, I'm not sure. And more trouble as they get down to the bus stop. So I've got to work out exactly who it was. Joe Baldwin's dropped down to the back of the field. It was Ben Woods, not Nick Wood, my apologies. And there was the argy-bargy. He got the hip and shoulder treatment. And that is that.
Could be minimal damage on that car, so there he goes. And then is that Joe?
Down the back straight. Jeez, yep. Oh, that's a nasty one. Oh, boy, oh, boy. Gordon Marshall, I think. And David Baz ended up in pit lane as a result of all of that as well.
We come to expect that, don't we, at Watkins Glen, Zach? It's pretty much half of the course.
Absolutely. It is one of the danger points of the circuit. So I'll cover off a couple of things here as we watch Brendan Whittaker up on the outside to the bus stop. Jeez, that's game. Have a look at them side by side through here. Brendan Whittaker leads in New York. It's Thursday Night Motorsport on the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club. We do it with thanks to Waste Options, Spreyton Ciders, Orbic Australia, Login Systems, Player One Sim Gear, also Leipzig Racing, M-Wave Australia, and Flash Graphics. Don't worry about track limits here. There are none of them at Watkins Glen.
Oh, they are. There are.
They're halfway onto the boot.
Yes, that's right. There's certainly no track limit there, but they did tighten the one up just leading into that final corner. I think Matty said last week, not a big fan of neither this track nor this configuration. So,
and it's only the second round that he's missed so far this year, Grant, and he's won 4 of the 5 he's been here for. He was third past the post last week. There goes Banksy. Hold it, son. That's it. Well done. Kept it off the wall. Good boy.
Oh, Chris Whittaker.
Brendan Whittaker and Chris Whittaker rather up the outside. Oh, contact and gone. Oh. Chris is not able to save that one. Oh, boy.
They certainly will. Yeah, I thought I'd join in
How
tonight.
about the hip and shoulder?
Yeah, but I
Bang.
don't think he thought he was there. I think he probably got a call from his crew chief to say left side clear. But he was certainly going to occupy that part of track. Yeah, after that mega effort by Daniel last night, broadcasting solo and commentating, I thought I'd stick around and spare his voice box a little bit.
Well, we're very glad to have your company, Grant. And I know Daniel will appreciate that in due course as well. Maybe my voice box and vocal cords will get a rest as well. Oh, Jared Knight.
Turn one.
Jesus.
Oh, and the car.
Oh,
Is that
jeez.
Jared? No, who's that coming
How
out?
about that,
Ben
Ben
Wood.
Wood?
Yeah, running the 00 plate. Yeah, so Gordon
Off the
Marshall
backstrap we
used to
go.
have that dark blue with the stylised Scottish cross, but he's now running it.
Brendan Whittaker on the dirt. Brendan Whittaker wide through the bus stop. Sorry, Grant. He's lost the lead to Sam Muir. Brendan Whittaker across the grass and lucky not to get sent. Dave Dench tuning in. He's here despite the fact that Matt's having a rest. Matt, of course, still in prime position once the... Oh, Brendan Whittaker gone! The tank slapper!
That might even
He
be a
hung on to
slowdown
it, but
there.
it's third.
I think that might be a slowdown way out there, but we'll see.
Down onto the main straight. It's all going off in New York. Championship coming into this round, despite the fact that Denchi wasn't on the grid, despite the fact that he said at the start of the season that he wasn't having a full tilt, a full crack at the championship, he might relinquish the crown as a seven-time Porsche champion. He still leads the championship 338 to 264. So what's that? 26-point shot, 74 points. The advantage coming into this round. Paul Wilson third, Anthony Adshead, Nick Wood the top five, Chris Whittaker sixth. 122 points covers first through sixth. Even with those drop rounds, Denchi's looking good. If he's here the next 3 weeks, he's still looking good at potentially winning title number 8, which is extraordinary, considering that he's voluntarily sitting a couple of rounds out and not showing up and persevering with them. It just goes to show.
Yeah,
it just goes to show how freakish the guy is, Grant.
Indeed. And I don't think he wants to give any championship away. Look at these two going. Jake Jackson all over the back of Wayne Hewitt. Very close between those two.
Jordan Malcolm with the comment of the year. Trent must be loving these last couple of laps. So I think you're talking about Trent Lavis and his good mate Chris Whittaker, the sparring partners. More on that a little bit later on, no doubt, when CW joins us for a chat post-race, if he joins us for a chat post-race. This is Wayne Hewitt at the moment in 7th, up through the roller coaster S-bend and down the back straight. So Muir 108.703, Marshall 108.860 last time round. Muir the fastest on the racetrack. Joe Baldwin back there in 19th. Wide goes Jared Knight. And it's a frustrating night at the office for Jared Knight at the moment. Of the 24 starters, all 24 still running. Ben Wood's half a lap down on David Baz. And almost, he's Ben Woods is a lap and a quarter down on Sam Muir at the moment. So Muir, the race leader. We invert the top 10 after this race, remember? And that comes with serious red flags. If you're a part of the invert, knowing the carnage that can and probably will unfold in the early stages here in race 2 with that invert system in place. But it's fireworks aplenty for us, and it's must-watch viewing for you at home. David Christensen, we're right on board with him now.
Graham just observing, this is one of his top 10 tracks, but he's got more than 10 in his top 10 tracks, but we'll cross that bridge later. I was impressed. Yeah, I was impressed. You said Paul Wilson's running third in the championship. He came up from Amspor, the open split last season, so really well representing himself. And I'm sure consistency is the key there. But we'll see what happens with drop rounds at the end of this week.
Oh boy, David Christensen applying the pressure here to Brett Bradbury, knowing that the invert is there for the taking. The invert pole for the next race. which is a tremendous leg up for any open split competitor if they can get it in a top 10. Normally, Grant, heavily dominated by the elite split competitors.
Indeed. Just looking, A. Lavis or A. Maverick, not having the best night. And Brendan Whitaker last week, he had a bit of a shocker around Fuji. No, where were we last week? I forget, but that's me. I'm like a goldfish. But yeah, he didn't have a good night at all, and Adam Lavis had a terrific night. So last week we were, of course, at Bathurst. But Adam will probably do as usual and just try and work up a little bit closer. But Brett Bradbury having a great run in second for the Opens. Brilliant.
So we're going 14 laps in this opening sprint race, ladies and gentlemen. That is known, that is clear, as per the totem pole on the top left-hand side of your screen. So laps are plenty here on one of the fastest circuits we go to, by virtue of the fact that there aren't too many big, heavy braking points. Turn 1, yep. The bus stop, yep. And then that's about it. You don't get all the way onto the brake coming into turns 6 and 7, as they call them on the Wikipedia map. It is a very fast-flowing circuit, but carnage awaits anyone that gets it marginally wrong. Muir, Marshall, Whitaker. Great to see Gordon Marshall / Ramsey doing his thing there in second place. Whitaker is third. Dead set a couple of weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, the name Gordon Ramsay was showing on our totem pole. It was terrific to see, but no, it is now saying Gordon Marshall. We're going to ask about the legitimacy of that a little bit later on in the piece, I think.
He probably ran out of change for the
I'd say so. I'd say so. I'm about to too. Don't worry.
Well,
Wayne Hewitt there in 6th place.
There might be a little bit more swearing from him because I reckon he might have a little bit of an invoice to pay with Chris Whitaker. And of course, Chris has ended up way down in 12th spot, down 7 from his opening stanza where he started. So, yeah, I think we need it. Sorry, what's that?
That's right. That's exactly right. And he's within 0.6 of a second of David Christensen now. And Brett Bradbury is right there too. One slip up from Bradbury or Christensen and Whitaker goes through. That would be awesome for CW. Won't make up for the frustrating moment that he's had in race 1, but we'll see. Could be a quick way to turn the night around though. Snadden down the inside, down the back straight on Anthony Adshead. To 4th he goes. Job done. I'm with Graham on that. I am with Graham on that 100%. And only because Gordon speaks the language. He talks the language of the people. He uses those 4-letter words. I love it. Wayne Hewitt there in 6th place. Make it 5th now. Up the inside of a wide running Anthony Adshead.
Yeah, Adshead was just put off a little bit by that entry into the bus stop earlier in the lap and put him under assault from that driver there. So yeah, he just hasn't been quite in sequence.
Oh, there Whitaker goes Chris Whitaker. Forget about 10th. Forget about 10th. He's dropped down to 18th as a result of that.
I'd get the 7-second delay going now, Daniel.
Yeah, I would too.
Might need a bit more than 7.
Oh, hang on. Adshead trying to get back by on Hewitt, couldn't get it done. Muir leads, Marshall 2nd, Whitaker 3rd, Snadden, Hewitt the top 5. And in close pursuit is Russ Green and also Jake Jackson, who you were watching on screen there. Look at Adshead down the inside. Can he get the job done on Hewitt? No, hip and shoulder for Hewitt to maintain 5th place here and now.
He'll get a run here, and we've seen he's not shy about having a dig either inside or outside. He's got the biggest set.
Down the inside to turn 1.
Adshead will stick to the road. Someone's off in front.
Yep.
That might be David Baz.
Yep. Staying out of the road, a lap down is David Baz.
And
Chris Whitaker now in pit lane 2, by the way, gentlemen.
yeah, Russ Green having a go at Ad's head. Ad's head says, no, you don't.
Oh, that was definitely a touch. Ad's head on Hewitt, trying to cover off and defend Russ Green. And there's another one. The SMSing is rampant tonight.
It's not so much SMSing as
Oh,
braille
dear.
printing. But Jackson was right with Green behind these two as well, and they were closer than that, apart from that bump into there.
Definitely a touch.
Oh, yeah.
Is there more of that to come in the final 2 laps?
Ad's head's got good pace. He just getting held up a little bit by Hewitt. Hewitt, as we know, as soon as you have to start dealing with a joker in your mirrors, takes that little bit off your pace, if you're human. No. Look for Green. Green on Ad's head.
Yep, and watch Ad's head try to cover it off as well. Didn't have to worry about it in the end. Green couldn't get the run. Wide goes Hewitt. Wide goes Hewitt. He loses 2 spots and he might lose out to Jackson as well. In fact, he does. Hewitt drops to 8th, make it 9th. Wow. Uh-oh. Trouble in behind Wayne. Hewitt's gone. Watch this. Watch this. 3, 2, 1, gone. And off went Jackson as well.
Oh,
David Christensen and Brett Bradbury now hold sway in bragging rights for the front row of the invert race. As the last lap flag flies, the white flag is in the air. Well, this has been worth the price of admission, gentlemen.
It has. I don't think Green's finished here just yet. I think
No.
I think he's going to get a good run up through here. Like any draft, you don't want to be right on the back of the guy at the start of the straight. You want to have that little bit of room to get sucked into the back of his vehicle, and here he comes.
Can we get by on the inside? No.
Yeah, up front, 2 seconds between Muir and Marshall. Good, well observed, Jordan Malcolm. Fine student of the game. Not again.
Down the back straight for the final time. Sam Muir's coming onto the main straight. Muir's going to take the win here at Watkins Glen. But we've got to keep an eye on those guys as they come to the line. Look at the fight for second. Marshall and Whitaker. Marshall got it. Then back to 4th place, Dane Snowden. Ad's Head and Green will be the next one's in view. Ad's Head's done enough to hold on to a top 5 finish. 6th place will go to Green. 7th to Tony Baker over Jake Jackson. Brett Bradbury and David Christensen has an invert. Pole position for race number 2. But he nearly threw it away because he wanted to try and get by Brett Bradbury. 11th to Paul Wilson, just edging out Nick Wood. Adam Lavis just edging out Wayne Hewitt, who will be frustrated with 14th. Ben Schmidtke, Knight, Fitzpatrick, Banks, Baldwin, Matson, Kosh, Baz, Woods, and Whitaker. Whitaker 3 laps down in pit lane on the tow rope still.
There's
We'll wait and see if we see him back on the racetrack.
Or Mitson, as my crew chief tells me. It's Mitson in front. But 3 open class guys in the top 10. That's a stellar effort from them.
That's a great achievement.
Tony Baker, I
Great stat.
feel like I think Baker enjoys this track just quietly. Very exciting. Lots of fun.
Always is. And now we get to do it again, gentlemen, because we'll invert the field for 27 minutes worth of racing this time round. So with that will come probably another 10 or 11 laps. And if it's anything like what we've just seen, strap in, buckle up, and hold on tight. There will be a slash and dash. There will be some carnage. There will be some attrition. There will be some legitimately incredibly entertaining and intense racing as well, because that's what happens when you invert the field. That was a stellar performance from Sam Muir, 2.23 to the good on Marshall. Then Whittaker, Snadden, Ads Head, Russ Green, Tony Baker, Jake Jackson, Brett Bradbury, and David Christensen.
Yes, very, very exciting. This track just keeps coming at you. There's the only time you've got a chance to breathe is while you're going up the main straight towards the bus stop. And even during that, there's two things on your mind. There's a bloke that's behind you by about a quarter of a second. He's coming at you at a tenth every time you look at the split. And there's just where you're going to brake and turn in for the bus stop, and hope like hell that the car's going to behave over the bumps as you go through there. Hope that you've got your dampers all set up, and then it's a matter of you get into the big loop, and it's get the nose in, try and keep it in, then drive out on the rear wheels with a bit of power. And we see some guys just sticking to the racing line because it's a lot shorter, but other guys just thinking, well, I can carry just a little bit more speed. But we haven't really seen it bring about too much in the way of opportunities through there.
Looking forward to this second race. It's about to get underway, ladies and gentlemen. Cars are making their way to the grid any tick of the clock with the warm-up session now complete. And we'll have a look at the updated track and weather conditions for you. That was the one thing we didn't get to do at the start. 23 degrees the track temperature, 22 the ambient. We're at 4.5 minutes past 3 in the afternoon. That's about to change up to 3:30. There we go. 22 and 23 degrees the ambient and track respectively. November 8, 2023. Remembering that the Americans have just wound the clock back, having finished that progressive and civilized concept known as daylight saving grant. And there you go. It's 3:30 in the afternoon. And a nod to our friends in Queensland on that note that have no bloody idea what they're missing out on. David Christensen and Brett Bradbury the front row, Jake Jackson and Tony Baker the second, Russ Green, Anthony Adshead the third, Dane Snadden, Brendan Whittaker the fourth, Gordon Marshall and Sam Muir the fifth. Got to make up for lost time, Grant. I haven't been here the last two Thursday nights. Paul Wilson and Nick Wood the sixth row, Adam Lavis, Wayne Hewitt the second, Matt Schmidt, Jared Knight the eighth, Blake Fitzpatrick, Liam Banks the ninth, Joe Baldwin and Pete Matson the 10th. 11th row, Tristan Koch and David Baz. 12th row, Benny Woods and Chris Whittaker. Now, we're ready to rock and roll again. The Porsches at the Glen. Race 2, round 7. Let's go to work.
Christensen away slow.
Beautiful start from Brett Bradbury. Better start, Jake Jackson. Tony Baker actually trying to muscle Jackson out. Jackson with a dive down to the inside at 1. Backs out of it. Christensen and Baker. Nose to tail. Oh, bang! Jackson's into the wall. Bang, bang, bang. We knew it was coming. An enormous shunt at the back of shot. Do not be surprised if race control deployed the safety car. There were so many cars caught up in that. Bang, bang, bang. Jake Jackson, Matt Schmidtke, Blake Fitzpatrick, Adam Lavis, Wayne Hewitt, all caught up and compromised. We see it from Jackson's angle. Watch him light up the tyres here. Got it crossed up on the ripple strip. Bang. See you later.
Oh, straight in the side of Adam Lavis. And, he hasn't been able to take a trick tonight, but to his credit, Joe Trucker Baldwin's been looking for a bit of luck, and he's still on the track in 13th spot. We've got the 3 Open Cup drivers leading the race at the moment.
Jackson, Banks, Matson, Woods all on the tow rope, all in pit lane. And then there were 20. You cannot pit on lap 1 of a Porsche race and remain in the fight. Firstly, they're on the tow rope for God knows how long. Secondly, they won't be able to top up now and get to the checkered flag. They're not done. 4 walking wounded in the early stages. I'd said it'd be good. I said it'd be fraught with danger. So often it is. 2 or 23. 23 the scheduled distance here.
Sorry, Brendan. So close. Christensen's been bumped back 1 by Adshead. But Brendan's got some pace here tonight. Hopefully he's got a bit of patience as well to go with it.
Oh, yep.
Doesn't help Chris much.
A 15-second penalty for Gordon Marshall.
Yeah. Doesn't help Chris one iota, but certainly puts a wrap over the knuckles of Gordon Marshall.
Ben Wood's got a warning for contact on David Baz on that opening lap of the first race as well. Just quietly. Down the main straight we go.
Yeah, that's head up to 2 now.
Yeah, and watch Brendan Whitaker try to dive down the inside here as well, Grant. And Whitaker gets by on Russ Green and hangs Green out to dry.
Muir lining up a run up into the bus stop. Banksy and Matson. No further action. So Tony Baker, he loves this place. Look at him out in front. It's only a third of a second, but hanging on to it over Ad's head. Let's hope he withstands the pressure. Oh, he's under massive pressure as well. You can just see them out in front, and Ad's head's got a big run. He'll be all over Tony. Muir. Oh, how's it look? Absolutely. Here comes Ad's head. Will he have another dive down the inside? Will he wait for the bus stop? Snapping in the green.
Oh, Brendan down the inside of Christensen to 4th. And, Sam Muir couldn't get through. So Muir and Marshall are boxed in here at the moment and struggling to push their way forward. So somewhere along the line here, gentlemen, we've got to talk about racecraft and strategy. When is it too early to pit, or when is the earliest you can pit and get home to the checkered flag? Ad's head up the outside to the lead, gets by Tony Baker with consumed ease. So Ad's head back to the lead now. Baker, Bradbury, Whitaker, Christensen and Green, the top 6. Great work from Anthony Ad's head to lead from the front here. But yes, when is the earliest you can stop, pit, fuel up and get home and get yourself out of this mess, out of traffic into some relative safety?
Yeah, I'm not sure at all on fuel. There goes Whitaker on Bradbury down the inside. That's a good move there. No, the Open Cup boys aren't fighting this too hard, which is very, very sensible. There goes Muir on Snadden down into the main run. Look at Ramsey tucked right on the back of Muir as well. He said, "Take me with you, boys. Okai the new."
No, in the wall. It's David Christensen. David Christensen gone.
The rarity of incidents there. It's an individual spin, not taking anyone else out. Oh, look at that. It was, he just dived down. Yep, brakes on.
Kept it off the wall, actually. Well done.
Have you had a chance to try the new sponsors product, Zach?
Oh, no trouble. There goes Russ Green.
Russ Green.
There'll be, don't worry, Grant, I haven't had a chance to, but I reckon there'll be a few of our boys reaching for one at the end of this. Purely out of, for the sake of drowning sorrows, purely out of frustration.
As I always used to say on Hey Hey at Saturday, a truckload of the sponsors product to the commentary booth, please.
Exactly.
We'll take the grown-up beverage and we'll have a look at the zero alcohol version. Look at Muir down on Snadden. Will he dive down here? Yes.
Yeah. Marshall, opportunistic. Whoa, well done. Have a look at the 3 hanging there. Dane Snadden. Still hanging there. Can't do it any longer. So, Marshall 6th, Snadden 7th, now both chasing Muir. Muir finally buying some clear air here in real estate. Whitaker up the outside of Baker.
Baker's
got the job done.
Yeah, now it's Baker and Bradbury back nose to tail, having a very nice run of it for the Open Cup. Zach, further to your question, I'd say probably 18 laps, maybe 5 laps in is your window, so we might see some cars starting to come in. All incidents, lap 1, no further action.
Yep. Race control's just throwing that in the too hard basket. Thanks for coming. We've got better things to do.
Look at Knight on Wilson. Knight on Wilson, that's close as you like. You'll get a good run down here. Like I said with the draft, you don't want to be quite so close. This is very short, sharp. And the guy on the outside normally will concede. Yeah.
to
Up
8th.
into 8.
Well done. Whoa, more trouble! Uh-oh! Bang! Jared Knight's gone!
Oh,
Massive carnage!
Wood cops it again.
Oh, poor old Jared Knight can't take a trick.
Oh, that's a very second-hand vehicle.
And Gordon Marshall now gone as well. Uh-oh. Watch the road close out.
Yeah.
Watch the clear air close out of Jared Knight's view. 1, 2, 3, gone. Thanks for coming.
Oh, that's a lot.
So much carnage at the Glen. And what happened to Gordon Ramsay following that, or Gordon Marshall? Because he's now in pit lane as well.
Well,
I'd really like to know.
He was the one that went around in the initial instance, and I think what happens when you get right on top of that exit ripple curve out of turn 1, the car will just go around.
And Chabo's stressing all of a sudden. Yep, exactly. Good point, Josh Zuno. Well done.
Chabo's in race control.
It was. Oh. Oh, yeah.
And was it he just got on top of? I wasn't watching. Was it he just got on top of the ripple strip? Because you go a little bit light, you lose your downforce, and around they go.
Oh boy. So all of a sudden the sea's parting. Chris Whittaker up in the 9th, Joe Baldwin down in 10th. Have a look at this. Have a look at Whittaker on the outside of Nick Wood. Whittaker on the outside. Whittaker on the inside of Nick Wood. Take Baldwin with him. So often it happens, the floodgates open. You get 2 for the price of 1. You lose 2 in the space of 1 corner in Nick Wood's case. Joe Baldwin pouncing when Chris Whittaker decided to pull the trigger. Very nicely done.
So my fuel calculation, just off the top of my head, I have no insight into that whatsoever. Is this Liam Banks? Yep, same thing. Exact same thing.
Bye-bye,
Banks. On top of there, and she just has a big wobble. Yeah, they can obviously go a little bit further on the fuel. No
Banksy's retired, by the way.
We might see him here in a moment.
That was the old rage quit.
Is he? Is the image on the side of his car? Is that one of Banksy's artworks? I'm thinking it probably is. Knowing Banksy and his cultured way of travelling through this world. Oh, Banksy? The real Banksy? Yeah. Oh, around we go, Snadden.
Oh, no. Dane Snadden. Great evasive action there from Brett Bradbury. And let's just have a talk. Let's just have a chat about the open split guys, Grant. Still 4th and 5th, Tony Baker and Brett Bradbury.
Absolutely. Joe Baldwin up in the 9th, David Christensen 10th. It's really not working out for the guys coming through from the back of the top 10. Brendan Whittaker out in front now. Didn't see him get past Ad's head. But I think the punchline to Daniel's anecdote there was it's just descended through and over. Yeah. Look at me. Yeah. Muir, nice work on Ad's head. Ad's head's lost a couple there. Whittaker got through. Have you got Whittaker overtaking Ad's head in your list there, Daniel? I think we missed that in the chaos. Oh, did we? Ah. Yeah, he was a little sketchy the whole way through there. Very nicely done. To quote a Zackism, I think that goes on the next T-shirt. Very nicely done.
I think that goes on the next bingo card, absolutely. And we're a half race distance here. It's one of those combos. If you work out a way to keep taking paint off the driver's side mirror at the bus stop without riding your car off every lap, you're set. That's a very good comment from Josh Zuno. But
We've
the
got
key to
winners.
Watkins Glen. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yes. Yeah. So we've got pit stops for fuel. That's just about half race distance. So splitting it up into 2 splits. I wonder if anyone will be taking, what would you be taking here? Left tyres. You might take left front. Snadden on Whittaker. Ooh, thought he was going to end in tears right there. Pitting. And Whittaker all over the back of Paul Wilson. Tuck it out. No point driving it down there. It was an unsafe rejoin by Brett Bradbury that triggered Gordon Marshall, I think. Oh, that might be another incident altogether. Oh, the windscreen wipers going in preparation. But look at this run.
Whittaker down the inside to go to 6th now. Can he get the job done on Wilson? Yes, he can. Nose in front. Down to the end of the back straight.
That was lap 7, that incident the penalty was for. Oh, Chris, a little bit of grass on the inside.
Just so we can cover it off, gentlemen. Top 9 yet to stop. Top 9 yet to stop. Everybody else has transited the lane at least once. And that includes those that have already parked up for the night or are already out of business, of course.
And Dane Snadden's the leader of those who have stopped. Sam Muir's just set the
4
fastest lap of
retirements
the
thus
race.
far.
Yeah, Sam Muir's just set the fastest lap of the race in 2nd place there, 1:08.802, where he's done that a lap or so ago. But currently holds that. It's well faster than anyone else. Muir lining up a run on Whittaker. Look at that number crumbling in the top left corner. It was 2-1, now it's down to 0.11. Look at the run he's got. Oh, I'll take outside, thanks.
Have a look at that up the outside. Very nicely done. Brendan Whittaker, no. Not getting by this time, Sam Muir.
Just trying to force a little error there, trying to just inconvenience him.
So Whittaker's doing a great job of defending Muir at the moment, but for how long? How much longer can he withstand the pressure here?
Will Muir pit this time round? Do what he doesn't do, just to get some clear air. If there's a good gap behind them somewhere there.
Oh, Whittaker driving almost mid-track there for a moment.
Muir in. Both in.
Both in.
Oh,
Both
you
in.
bugger.
Oh,
You
here we
bugger.
go.
Oh,
Here
Whittaker
we go.
locked it up big time there. I wonder if he got it stopped. Joe Baldwin getting past.
Oh, ball went off
Nick
the
Wood.
road. Ball went off the road, and so too the car behind him as well. I reckon there was someone else. Yeah, Nick Wood off the road too. Nick Wood was
had
off the
just gone
road
past him.
through
Just
the
gone
bus
past.
stop.
Yeah. So easy to follow someone off when you're that close to them. You lose track of all your markers. So. Bang.
Oh, yeah. There we go. Now that makes a lot more sense. That makes a lot more sense. Because that set off the chain reaction. All we saw was the aftermath.
I'm surprised that he
Of-
gets a
of
penalty
Marshall
of that.
Going around the
for
wrong way.
That I, in my completely uneducated view of it, might think that could have been a racing incident because he just lost the car and it went round on him and back on he came. Maybe looking at the inputs of the wheel and pedals, might have decided that for Sam Chapman in race control. Brett Bradbury leads this race again. Adds heads into the pits. Tony Baker currently running in 3rd place in the pits as well.
Yep. Ad said Baker and Whittaker 1, 2, and 3 on pit roads. So Brett Bradbury continues to lead from the front. Matt Schmidtke hasn't stopped yet either. Still a bit to play out before the field is cleansed here. We're 16 and 3/4 minutes in. We're on lap 15 of 23 at the Glen.
About 6 different ways to go around that corner.
Has anyone worked out which one's right yet?
No, it's a bit
No,
like Suzuka. Which corner do you compromise? Do you go in late and get a good drive off the corner? Do you take a narrow entry and slow it down in the middle and get the nose tucked in? Very hard to say. Of course, Rex. Yeah, nicely done. Kind of good to see a resurgence of the Aston Martin. There's so much noise going on in the background of that team and what Daddy'll do or Daddy won't do to keep his boy racing in. Oh, how close was that? 10-second penalty, Russ Green contact with David Christensen.
So race control's been kept on. Rather busy tonight. Rather busy tonight.
So we're just about equalised there. Brett Bradbury's just coming out of the pits, comes out behind Chris Whitaker, but we've got Sam Muir leading the race in front of Anthony Adshead. Tony Baker, after the pit stop, still in third place. I hope we get to chat with him, and I think he'll tell us this is one of his favourite ever tracks.
Absolutely.
Well, after tonight it will be.
Yep. Not bad at all.
Nick Wood closing in on Wayne Hewitt.
Sam Chapman's jumped up into the commentary box. You've got your work cut out for you tonight. Plenty going on in race control.
Mate, there sure is. I've come in without the right admin access, so it's all a bit of a disaster. Otherwise, we would have had a safety car going on after all that.
Copy that.
Lap 1 debacle. It's looking through each of them, and there's nothing that jumps out as to who's truly at fault there. It's just a bit of a chain reaction. So that's all a bit unfortunate. There was a couple of race 1.
Muir,
Sorry, hold the
Adshead,
phone for a tick.
Baker. You're right, mate. Whitaker, Snadden, the top 5. Tony Baker still the best of the open split, as Grant was alluding to a few moments ago. Top 4. Actually, on the screen there at the moment, 11th through 15th, and not much separating them, not much covering them at the moment. Top of shot there was, of course, that 15th placed Brendan Whitaker. But unfortunately there's the telling story as well, fellas. I'm not sure we covered this off earlier, but Brendan Whitaker, with that locked brake, that entry into pit lane, got held. He was on pit road for 48.47 seconds. So there's another tail of the tape. So Sam Muir's the leader, and he leads rather comfortably, 3.2 to Adshead. Then Baker and Chris Whitaker all over the back of Baker for an outright podium here for CW. This might turn the night around. Up 20 spots if you don't mind. Wow.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
Tony's been pretty polite so far through the night, but tends to be, he's taking the narrow line. No, he's still fighting it, but Chris has got a good run on him there. Yeah, Tony's just gone, yep, you take it and drag me along for a bit. Yeah, anytime you see that massive plume of smoke off all 4 tyres going into a pit lane, you've got to wonder. And the other thing is whether Adam Lavis will have to pit, and that group of stoppers on the first or second lap, whether they have to pit again or whether they can get home. But they're probably approaching empty tanks, I would think. Hopefully the server's set up so that they can get home. But I think with open sets, you can't do it, or maybe you can with a... do you know Sam? Oh, Sam's gone for a moment. I think if it's a one design class, you actually can set an open amount of fuel to go in for the second or the first stop. So we'll see. That'd be a bit of a saving grace for Adam, but he probably wasn't expecting Tony Baker to be in 4th, Brett Bradbury to be in 6th, and Joe Baldwin to be in 8th in front of him.
Christensen and Lavis there fending off Schmidtke and Fitzpatrick. Lavis doing a nice job of it at the moment.
They'll be in the same Discord, these two.
Absolutely, they will be having a good chat, having a good yap. Whoa.
Yeah, could be a setup. And look, Adam does take that little bit of a wider line through the middle and then puts his foot down. Christensen's right with him again. The draft will be helping. Brendan Whitaker, the car closing up onto the back of these guys. I'm thinking Zach must have won Powerball tonight. He's gone very quiet on us.
No, I'm still here, gentlemen. I'm just easing into it, as they say. I used up all my energy on Formula V. I'm still recovering. Oh, wide goes Schmidtke. Wide goes Schmidtke. We're on like 20 or 23. We're almost home. No, I'm just... I've hit the wall, gentlemen. I drove 15 hours yesterday. 8 hours yesterday after 7 weeks on the road, and then slept for 15 hours last night and still need more sleep. Down the inside goes Brendan Whitaker. 15. I said 15 because I saw a 15-second penalty on the screen. Gordon Marshall on Jared Knight. That is no surprise either, as Whitaker goes up into 14th place on the comeback trail.
I'll tell you what, Zach, this is easier with Jamie in there with me.
Yes, yep, very true. Where is our good mate tonight? Is he west of the Blue Mountains somewhere?
Oh, I think he is. I think he's out of Bathurst somewhere, the
Everyone's
lucky
there.
duck. So doing a few real world commitments as a marshal. So I'm riding solo tonight, and this is the outcome. A bit disjointed, but we're getting there. A few penalties out here tonight. It's been contact between Kristen and Green. That was 10 seconds. That was just a bit, I can't say, ambitious going into the bus stop, and also I'm not convinced he would have been able to leave the room there at all anyway. And that contact between Marshall and Bradbury just going out wide there, getting a little bit of spin on those rear tyres on turn 1, and it just unfortunately created him a little bit back into Marshall, causing a much larger collision that he unfortunately got pinged for afterwards for not holding brakes.
There's so much consequence to any small indiscretion around here, isn't it? It's just it's not so much a concrete canyon, it's an armor guard canyon. And
yep, down the inside. Very nicely done from Whitaker.
Oh, it is gone.
I wanted to bring himself undone. Did all the hard work, found a way by, and then it's gone up in smoke.
Exactly.
Tyre smoke.
With Bradbury. And the consequence is the same for him, but fortunately no one else involved in it.
White flag in the air this time by, gentlemen. White flag in the air. 1 to go at the Glen. And Sam Muir is 1 lap away from a clean sweep, doing the double. What no one was able to achieve across the line in Formula V, but John Merritt, of course, had one gifted to him, unfortunately, at the expense of our good mate here, Sam Chapman, after the fact. But Muir is going to do his talking on the racetrack and do it on Merritt, if you pardon the pun, which was very much unintended. Sam Muir, Anthony Adshead, Chris Whitaker, Dane Snadden and Tony Baker, the top 5. And Brett Bradbury in 6th place. Good, solid run from the open split competitors. Joe Baldwin's going to get himself a podium in the open split as well, should he keep it on the black stuff. And now it's Adam Lavis trying to fend off David Christensen, Blake Fitzpatrick on the last lap, and Matt Schmidtke as well. Brendan Whitaker a very disappointing 15th in the end here as they make their way around. Here comes Sam Muir, and this is exactly what he needed in his fight against Nat Dench in the title fight. Last turn, checkered flag, and Sam Muir gets the job done at the Glen. He does the double on a Thursday night. Spreyton's side of Thursday Night Motorsport on the platforms of the Gentlemen's Sim Racing Club.
And those early pitters, not inconvenienced. They've been able to make it just on the one stop. So that's a good result for them. Or is that a second stop for Adam with on lap 9?
Russ Green still in pit lane, has been for a while. We're going to have 18 finishes here. Yeah, you're right, Grant. Everybody that stopped early in the piece, well, actually, anyone that stopped early in the piece parked up for the night, including Liam Banks and David Baz. Everybody else pitted anywhere after lap 7, so they were okay. Samuel, the fastest lap of the race, a 1 minute 8.802, and Anthony Adshead in for second. Chris Whitaker, a good fight back there from the rear to third, and won't he be gloating about that?
I expect so. Maybe the earlier incidents will have just been flushed from his memory. Very strong from Sam Muir.
Indeed it was. Dominant in the end, 6.9 seconds, got the job done. Adshead, Whitaker, Snadden. Tony Baker was mightily impressive. The open slit boys actually probably beneficiaries of some of the carnage that happened in the early stages amongst the elite split competitors. And there were 3 of them inside the top 10, including Brett Bradbury and Joe Baldwin. Wayne Hewitt, a good fight back, and Nick Wood made up the top 10. Tail of the walking wounded beyond that, though. I mean, down all the way through the teens to 19th. Russ Green, one of the many retirements here. David Baz, Liam Banks, Jack Jackson, Pete Matson and Ben Woods, the others. A case of what might have been for Jared Knight and Gordon Marshall. And also Brendan Whitaker as well. Porsche Racing, actually, to be fair, Grant, any category we bring the Watkins Glen dishes out the goods. We have indeed. Sorry, Daniel, you might want to pick it up. Yep. We'll have Paul Wilson and Brett Bradbury joining us in just a moment, Daniel. But yeah, otherwise, I mean, the early carnage aside, it was relatively clean and relatively entertaining.
It was. Jordan Malcolm's just pointed out that they can't hear me because I was muted that entire time.
Oh, well done.
Fantastic. Just can't learn, can I? That's all right. I fixed it now. Yes. So yeah, we'll hear from those guys in just a moment. Actually, they've all jumped into the booth.
Yeah, I might pick things up here while you sort out your sound issues. Let's bring in Brett Bradbury on that note. A chaotic sort of night, Brett?
Yeah, unfortunately I owe Gordon a bit of an apology there. I got a little bit of loose on the exit of turn 1 and just tagged his rear.
And then, unfortunately, he ended up not holding the brakes and bouncing back into the racetrack into the oncoming path of Jared Knight. So it set off a chain reaction. But in saying that, mate, it was a good battle, a good fight between yourself and Tony Baker.
Yeah, it was a very good night all round. I was quite happy with that. A decent pace for a change.
And Watkins Glen, I mean, it's a great circuit. It's a fast circuit. Is it a circuit that you like?
Yeah, I quite like it. Tends to flow really, really well, and it's quite an enjoyable one to drive.
Fuji next week, of course, then on to Imola, then on to Phillip Island. I think I'm right in saying that we go to Fuji both on Monday night and Thursday night next week with the 60-minute format there for GT3 as well as for the Porsches here. So we're excited about that. What are your thoughts on the Fuji International Speedway, mate?
It's another one I quite enjoy, actually. It's a bit hard, that last sector going up the hill, but for the most part, it's quite an enjoyable one to drive.
And as for the most part, I mean, tonight, always fraught with danger when we invert the field. Thankfully, being at the front of that invert, you were able to avoid the carnage early in the piece. Unfortunately, just involved in a little bit of it midway through the race there.
I decided I wouldn't try to race too hard, and I didn't really belong there, so I thought I'd give people room. As unfortunately, it all went wrong. It ended up with a 10-second penalty, but shit happens.
Yeah. For the most part, though, Grant Gilreed joins us. We've got Paul Wilson and Sam Muir standing by for a chat here too. For the most part, though, mate, that opportunity presented to you by way of the invert when we do have this combined class server, it gives you open guys a little bit of a leg up in that second race, doesn't it?
Yeah, something else to learn, I suppose, having the faster guys coming through from behind. But yeah, all good.
Do you enjoy that challenge? Have we still got you, Brett?
Yeah, I seem to be having a trouble with my keyboard. For some reason, it keeps cutting out.
Copy that. No, I was just wondering if you enjoy that challenge, learning on the go, where contending with being overtaken rather than trying to do the overtaking.
Yeah, it's quite enjoyable, and it gives you a chance to sit behind some of those faster guys once they go past you and learn their lines and that sort of thing.
All right, mate. Grant, anything for Mr. Bradbury while we've got him?
No, just to thank him for some fantastic racing last night in the GT4. We had close company throughout the course of both races at Donington there, and it was all good and clean, so good clean fun, as they like to say.
Yeah, that was a hell of a lot of fun, that. I really enjoyed it.
All right, mate, very nicely done. Well done again. Obviously, bad luck on the penalty and getting caught up in that little incident there, which became a big one for the two blokes behind you. But well done on the racing that we saw on the circuit, and we'll look forward to seeing you next week.
Thanks, Zach.
We'll get to Paul Wilson in just a moment. Let me bring in Sam Muir. Sam, get the hands out and smash them together, mate. 2 race wins on a night where you really needed to make every post a winner because Matt Dench not in the house. The door is open, slightly ajar for you to fight back here in this championship battle. And we're going to be at loggerheads when we get to Fuji next week.
Yeah, cheers, Zach. Yeah, definitely. Sort of waiting there in practice and just wondering if the Matthew Dench is connected to the server is going to pop up, but never did. So, yeah, gave it an opportunity for someone else to have a win, and yeah, thankfully that was able to be us.
All right, mate, very nicely done. A good fight in the early stages. I think Brendan Whitaker was trying to keep you honest. There were others as well, but it was one of the Jordan Malcolm just openly admitting to everybody that he's your idol, or you're his idol, I should say. But in saying all of that, it couldn't have gone much better tonight. You had some pressure, you withstood it, and as a result of that, once you've built a little bit of a buffer for yourself and checked out, the rest was up to you.
Yeah, it's a bit of a shame. I'm not too sure what happened to Whitaker in both the races. I think we had pretty similar race pace there, and yeah, once he got in front of me in the first race, I was like, ooh, not too sure how I'm going to be able to get back in front of him here, because he had quite a good bit of pace coming into the bus stop, and outside of that there's not a lot of overtaking opportunities. And then yeah, not too sure what happened there in race 2. I assume maybe speeding in pit lane, so that was a bit of a shame, but yeah, we were able to keep it clean and walk away with some good points.
Your guess is a good one. He locked up all 4 wheels going into the pit stop. Here's what happened to Gordon Marshall, because he was right with you for all of that.
Washka.
Brett had hit the wall on the exit of the final corner. Oh,
How lucky were a couple of them not to be further involved in that?
you're right.
That could have been complete and utter carnage.
So a 40-second stop and hold for Brendan after his pit or during his pit stop.
Oh, that's a shame, especially with Gordon there. I think he was sort of having a strategy of wanting to sort of follow me through there in that second race, and he was being patient and yeah, just following me through. And then yeah, I did see that actually in the rear vision mirror, and yeah, such a shame when those sorts of things happen. Obviously, it wasn't on purpose there by Brett, but yeah, an easy mistake to make there at the exit of turn 1.
Yes, indeed.
Indeed. Sam, as far as the second race was concerned, you kind of had to bide your time, knowing how fraught with danger those invert races usually are. Avoiding trouble was key, but you waited a couple of laps to make your move and get going.
Yeah, I'm usually pretty patient in the reverse grid races, and yeah, just try and follow onto it. Usually I got Denchi or Shepherd in here, and I just try and follow them through, but with none of them here, I thought, yeah, better be a little bit more assertive myself. So, yeah, just sort of pick my places, and and here with Tony Baker and a few of the other guys, I think it was really good racing from those open guys. They sort of realised, yep, this isn't my fight, and sort of just move out the way and just run their own race, and it's the fastest way for everyone at the end of the day. So, yeah, well done to those guys.
Well done to them indeed, and well done to you as well, mate. A nice double on a Thursday night. I mean, as we saw, there are so many trigger points around this circuit, pit lane being one of them. That was Brendan Whitaker's demise. But as far as you were concerned, that's the box tick. Now we can focus on Fuji. Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, really looking forward to Fuji. I think it's the Enduro format as well. So, yeah, we'll have to get a bit of pracky in between now and next week, and yeah, bust out the fuel calculators and see if we can do it in the one stop again. But hopefully not. I think we'll just commit to the two stop after Bathurst. I'm well and truly over fuel saving, so we'll just go full pedal to the metal and get on with it. Yeah, but looking forward to it. Should be a good race. The Enduro format's always fun, so yeah, looking forward to next week.
All right, very nicely done. Grant, anything to ask our championship contender here?
Just thinking back to the GT4 at Fuji, you had a good run there as well, didn't you, Sam? I think. Or did you not compete the GT4s?
No, I've had to give up the GT4s this season, unfortunately. So I assume it probably would have been my idol, Geordie Malcolm, who.
Yes, it was in that bloody McLaren. How he gets it to go, I do not know. But yeah, no, it's another one of you bloody 19X MX Wraps boys. They're really representing the team well. So it's a terrific job tonight. Very sensible the way you conducted your racing, and it ended well.
Sure did. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
All right, mate. Very nicely done. We'll catch up with you next week, eh?
Will do. Thanks, guys.
That was a very nice performance from Sam Muir back in the winner's circle tonight. He's coming home like a train. There's no doubt about that. Got the round win last week at Mount Panorama. Backed it up with a round win tonight. And then, of course, we'll look to build on that next week at Mount Fuji. And then, of course, we go to the Imola circuit in Italy, and then on to Phillip Island. So we're doing a lot of continent hopping, 4 different continents in 4 weeks to round out the championship. And if you're Matt Dench and not particularly fond of Fuji, I remember him saying, this might just be Sam Muir's for the taking. Imola is going to be key to the puzzle as well, Grant. We know how good Denchi is there.
Yeah, look, Denchi's just got to hope that having pre-nominated his drop rounds, he's just got to hope that he doesn't have a shocker in one of the other rounds, and it should fall back in the flat once again. But we'll see how that works out. Sam Muir would certainly be a worthy champion because he's been representing, as I said, the 19 MX Wraps very creditably, and would be a worthy winner in Matty's absence.
Indeed. All right, mate. Let's press on here and have a chat with Paul Wilson and also with Joe Trucker Baldwin, and I'll get to Joe last, if I may. Paul, nicely done outside the top 10 in race 1, inside in race 2. So you weren't in the equation for inverts or the like. You had to work your way back into the top 10. It was a good night out.
Yeah, thanks, mate. You guys got the audio all right?
It's soft, but I can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, I got a bit lucky in first lap on the first race. There was a bit of carnage, but I dropped a bit, but I got through it all right, and yeah, it wasn't too bad. I've had a pretty awful week with the car. I got in here on Monday night to start a bit of practice, and I just put a post up to give a thumbs up to Nick and Adam, who I've had some awesome races with all season and all year. To be honest, it's just been great. And about 2 minutes after that, my motherboard, the Porsche died. My car died, so I've only just got a motherboard back this afternoon and got the thing up and running about 10 minutes before the session started. So I'm happy with the results tonight. I got through all right. I have to give a big thumbs up to the boys at Tech Addicts in Coffs Harbour. Gentlemen, if your Porsche dies in Coffs Harbour, go and see Matt and Sam at Tech Addicts. They'll sort you out quick, smart.
Good stuff. Nothing like a free plug on a Thursday night. And I was only in I was only in Coffs Harbour yesterday, actually passing on through back here to Ipswich. Now, and on that note, it was word of advice to anybody: don't try and go through there anywhere between about 8 a.m. and 11 a.m. and then any time after 3 o'clock. It is just absolute bedlam. The sooner they build the overpass, the better. That being said, I love Coffs Harbour. It's a beautiful part of the world. It's halfway to home. Let's continue on with you though, Paul. Watkins Glen. It's a challenging little racetrack. There's no doubt about that. You mentioned having to try and steer clear of trouble. And I mean that's a self-sacrificing type thing. Short-term pain for long-term gain. You were the beneficiary of other people falling by the wayside tonight in some parts.
Oh, mate, there was one in race 2 about, I don't know how many, about 10 laps in maybe, where I don't know how I didn't get taken out, but I think someone flew over me, I think it was. And I just kept going through, so... Yeah, oh, was it?
Yeah, it was Nick Wood. Yeah, it was.
Oh,
Yep. Yeah,
oh,
that was
wow.
lap 13.
Oh, okay, I didn't
Down
know.
the bus stop.
No,
yeah.
Before that, there was one coming up, corner 2, second corner. I had one, yeah, Nick came flying up behind me and just missed me. I don't know how that missed either. So, yeah, there were some close calls in there for sure. But, yeah, got lucky and got through, and very happy with 7th. That's great. I'm a bit disbelieving of the actual championship points at the moment, how I can be sitting in 3rd. I'm sure that'll drop pretty quickly once the drop rounds kick in there.
Indeed. We'll be waiting to see what that looks like when the drop rounds are calculated, and Adam Lavis will be on the tools doing that either tonight or tomorrow morning, one or the other. And well done to Adam Lavis on his work with all of that throughout the course of the season. It makes our job here in commentary a hell of a lot easier. There's no doubt about that. We will endeavour to catch up with Adam regarding that a little bit later in the piece. He hasn't dropped by the broadcast booth tonight, but I'm assuming that he'll have an early start tomorrow. He might be a little bit disgruntled about some of the garbage that unfolded earlier in the night because he couldn't take a trick. However, while we've still got you, Paul, I mean, where are the goalposts from here, mate? I mean, when we look at the championship and we look at the run home and we look at the fact that you were 3rd coming into this round, and actually, just as I say it, Adam Lavis's ears must have been burning because he's just started going at the matrix, the points table for tonight. But when you look at where we're at and where we're going to, is it still possible to strive for a top 3 outright finish or a top 5 outright finish in this championship, mate, in your first crack at the elite split, having been promoted up this season?
Mate, top 5 would be awesome, but my goal at the start of the season was top 10. You know, I'll be happy with that if that comes true. So we'll just keep plugging away, mate. I'm still not at the pace of the elite guys. I'm back of the pack of the elites, but that's all right. Consistency counts, and that's what I aim for at the moment. And I'm slowly but surely getting quicker, and that's one of the greatest things about the game for me. I love the challenge of just building those skills week by week, and you pick up something every week, and it's great fun. And I've got to give another shout out just the crew who come in, week out. The racing's been awesome. I didn't really get a big pack race, and that's tonight, but that's one of the things Watkins can be really good for, but didn't really happen for me tonight. But yes, the racing in this league just goes from strength to strength, I think, with or without Denchi. Be good to have him back, but and hopefully we get more of the top boys back here on a more regular basis in the future too.
And
Well
what's
said,
your
Paul.
yeah, well said indeed. And what are your thoughts on Jared Knight? Any chance of a refund for the 992? Oh, he has had an absolutely shocking run with that car of late. I'm not surprised to see that comment at all. Oh, the poor bloke. If he didn't have bad luck, he'd have no luck at all. Taken out of that second race tonight, as we've already detailed. Paul, before we let you go and we go to our good mate Trucker, and we've got Dane Snadden standing by as well. What are your thoughts on Mount Fuji?
A bit undersized. I haven't raced there a lot. I think we've done one or two maybe in the Porsche. And the Porsche is really the only thing I'm driving nowadays. I pretty much do one race a week, and this is it. I have a bit of a practice the days leading up, but I didn't do that this week because I had a busted motherboard. So, yeah, no, looking forward to it as always, mate. Looking forward to it.
All right, mate, very nicely done. Thank you for that. Looking forward to it immensely. The last 3 weeks of the campaign. Thanks for stopping by the booth for a chat, and good luck.
Thanks, guys. Cheers.
Trucker, I'm going to get to you in a moment because you're over there on the West Coast and it's only 12 minutes past 7. And obviously with the news that dropped yesterday, there's a bit more to pick your brain regarding that. So we'll do that in a moment. Let's bring in Dane Snadden if we can. And we'll get him to unmute his microphone. Hello, mate. Nice to have you on board. Geez, you're in the thick of it tonight. So seventh past on the grid for race 2, which means 4th past the post in both races 1 and 2. As I can get my sentence structure a little bit in better check by this point of the night, you would have thought. Well done to you on that. A solid night at the office, not without a couple of hairy and sketchy moments along the way, though.
Oh, mate, that was a pretty exciting race. Hopefully you guys have got me there.
Yeah, lovely.
Yeah, she was wild there. The start of both races, cars going every which way. But yeah, no, it was good to pick up a couple of 4th place after a pretty disappointing getting taken out at Bathurst last week. I was running up with the quick guys. It's always good when you run up with those quick guys at the front. But yeah, made up a few positions. Race 1, qualified fairly poorly with my standards, I thought. Put a bit of practice in and just couldn't sort of put it together, but picked them off, put some hard moves in there, which was good to see them all come off. But yeah, no, she was definitely an interesting race. Cars going every which way, just sort of pick your way through and try and make it home.
Yeah, that's Watkins, Glen, all over the first lap or two up through the S's here. Is I don't think we've had a race where we haven't had 1 or 2 cars into the wall, then take out 3 or 4 more others. So being a little bit reserved during that early part often pays massive dividends. However, you can also get caught up whilst trying to avoid trouble. Trouble just comes out and finds you. That's a great run, and like you say, anytime you find yourself up around the guys who are generally a bit quicker than you, regardless of whether you're in at the front of the pack or in mid-pack or further back, it's just a little feather in your cap where you think, I think I'm learning something. So well done to you, and that blue livery really stands out, the CP Motorsports vehicle. So well done, Dave.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, she's definitely bright, mate, but I'm not the best on design and doing liveries. But I'll do a bright colour and stand out a little bit. But yeah, no, she's definitely a hard series to compete with. These guys, they're pretty quick. So I was good for me, I guess, having a couple of the quicker guys out tonight. Put me up a few positions, and all the chaos. They capitalised on those positions as well. But yeah, no, she's a good night out for the CP Motorsports 992.
Excellent, well done.
Legend. Thanks, guys. You have a good night.
Dane, before I let you go, mate, thoughts on Mount Fuji?
Lots and lots of time in Gran Turismo on that track, mate. So I do love that track, but not much time on iRacing. So at least I know which way the corners go.
Yes,
that's a good start, mate.
Actually, I might pick your brain on that next week if you stop by for a chat. The differences, what you've noticed between playing it on GT and playing it on iRacing.
Yes, he's obviously any console's nowhere near a PC. I did all my apprenticeship on Gran Turismo for at least 10 years, so it was good to finally make the jump to PC in iRacing and a Seca Corso. Sort of found the home with iRacing and the GRC, you guys at the GSRC Racing League. So I don't know, just really enjoy racing with you guys. But yeah, should be. I'll let you know the differences next week. See how we go.
No, mate, very nicely done. Thanks for that.
Love your work, guys. You have a good night.
You too. There he is, Dane Snadden. Chapo, anything to report further from race control, please?
I think they're largely sent through. There were a couple from race 1, those lap 1 incidents that I couldn't get to because everything decided to go black exactly at the contact point. So, but they were all. Turns out there was probably a reason for that because they were netcode anyway. So there's those ones, and then it's an investigation just with Joe and Tony. I'm still just working through the outcome of that one.
All right, mate, very nicely done on that subject. Let's bring in the newly anointed El Presidente on the other side of the nullarbor there. Joe Baldwin, you've taken up the mantle, you've taken up the reins. How are you finding that thus far? Point number 1 and point number 2. Well done on third in that second race in the open split from 19th on the grid, mate. Well done.
Yeah, thanks, mate. Yeah, I don't want to talk about race 1. We'll just leave that one.
No, exactly.
Find that one to the history books. And but no, race 2 was, it's as I heard you saying before, turns 2 and 3 here. It doesn't matter whether you're in the skip barber. It's anything you race here. It's just. I don't know. It's just the nature of the circuit. You know, uphill, off camber, fences everywhere. A little small mistake ends up with big consequences, and I guess with cars also. I mean, the incident in race 2 at the start there, I just went and had a look at it, and poor Adam absolutely got murdered.
Yep.
Without intent, like the car, 5 cars. I'm not actually sure who it was. 5 cars in front. You know, spun the tyres, bounced off the inside wall, and poor Adam just got murdered. You know, and I thought I had bad luck. That was just, I felt for him. You know, I wanted to play the last post watching the start of the second race for Adam, but it's it's just one of those circuits. You know, I think every time we come here, we have those sort of incidents. But once people get up and going, and the field spreads out a little bit, and you find somebody to race, it's always race is fantastic here. Yeah, and whether it's the cup or the boot, it doesn't matter. It's always great racing. So if we probably ought to start putting in, you know, first lap is a parade lap, get in single file and then go. And we probably have a bit more luck here for everybody. But no, it was race 2 I'm pretty happy with that. I had pace. I don't know if I had fastest lap in the open, but I was running with Nick Wood and a couple of those guys there, and Paul Wilson. Without a bent car, that's I was pretty happy with that in the end. So, but certainly a big week, so yes.
Yes, a very big week, mate. So talk us through the conversation that was had on Tuesday night to leave you in the hot seat for the next short while, please.
Well, and I think I might have said it the other day, but big shout out to John Simpson for everything he's done for the club since. I think I've probably known him 2 years since I got involved with on the committee side of things, and he's done tireless work in the background with the merch store and whatnot. So I just want to get everyone to just put their hands together for John and thank him for everything he's done. But his personal life and work schedule, I think, just got a little bit too much and whatnot. So he decided to step down, and I was asked if I'd be interested in taking on the role, and I figured, I probably Yeah, I'm pretty passionate about the club. I'm sure anyone who's had a conversation with me knows that. It's and I want to see it go forwards and upwards, and we're having a good intake of fresh drivers at the moment, which is great to see. So I want to continue that trend, and I've got a couple of ideas that have been mulling around in my head over the last few months, and I'm probably now at a point where I feel confident enough to put it to the guys, and hopefully we can move on it. So there might be some exciting things for the club coming up. With any luck, we'll give them more information next week after I speak to the committee about it.
Joe, it's going to make scheduling very much easier for the next season because it'll just be Bathurst for every week for every class, won't it?
Oh, absolutely, and arcers, and might even do a bit of sprint cars and dirt, and skip barbers, of course. Can't forget the skip barbers. So,
and whatever car gets the rain.
Absolutely, but look, in all reality, like I said in the Facebook post, it's not my club. It's I don't want to take the role. I don't want to do anything different to what any of the other presidents have done that have been involved in the club. I want to see the club thrive and survive, and I will. I'll move on from the role eventually as well. Hopefully, I can take us through to the next AGM at least. If people are happy with what I've done, I might get a second term. If there's somebody out there we think's probably better suited to lead the club forward, I'll be happy to step aside. It's certainly it's the members' club, and I just want to do what I can for the members and make sure it's the place to race on any given night of the week. So there's a slogan for you, I guess. But
the place to race, I like it.
The place to race. So copyright that one, but no, it's I'm excited for where the club's been headed in the last 12 months. So if I can keep it heading that direction, I'll when my tenure's over, I'll be a happy man.
Yeah, I think what a lot of people don't realise, I think what's brought a few of our presidents undone is the amount of stuff that goes on in the background. Anyone who's got a bit of a beef about someone else on the track comes to the president. Anyone who's, not quite happy with their lot in life comes to the president, and drivers have got to realise that you can't fix everything, and in a lot of instances it doesn't need fixing because it's just stuff that happens on track. But hopefully the time difference will work in your favour, and they'll be in bed by the time you're ready to receive calls or and everything works nice and smoothly for you, Joe.
I won't tell anyone I'm out of bed at 3 o'clock in the morning anyway, but I will not be fielding phone calls at that hour of the morning, no matter what. But no, it's no, that's right. But I'd like to think that I'm approachable. I'm passionate about it. Sometimes the passion gets in the way of reason at times, but with we've got a fantastic team in there in the not only in the stewards room but also in the committee realm at the moment, and guys like Grant and you, Zach, and we all know what Adam does, and Daniel has Daniel Career, we can't forget Blake. I don't know about that, but you got all these guys, and Aidan Schultz has stepped up, and there's a lot of guys at the moment that are taking a vested interest in the betterment of the club. So if I can just step in there as a bit of a moderating role and a delegating role, and just keeping I just like to keep things nice and smooth and everybody calm, and I'm not immune to the fact that you can't keep everybody happy all of the time, but some of the people some of the time might be achievable. So if I can do that, it should be good fun.
We'll just keep rowing, and you make sure we're pointed in the right direction.
Absolutely, I'll get up there with me sailor's hat on, and we'll go from there.
Good man.
Captain's hat.
That's it. Leader of the ship, mate. We're looking forward to it. We know you'll keep it afloat as well, and you'll do a very good job of it. Looking forward to hearing some of those ideas, and looking forward to seeing some of them come to fruition over the next short while. And as Grant said, all the best with it as well. We're looking forward to working with you. The club's in good hands because Trucker's been here pretty much right from the get-go. and has been involved on both sides of the fence from the get-go. So we're looking forward now to seeing what he brings to the table as the leader of the club, and looking forward to working with him every step of the way. And as he rightly said, there's no way you'll get hold of him at 3 o'clock in the morning Western time, let alone 3 in the morning Eastern time. It'll be very good, nonetheless, to follow on and watch just how well Mountain Men flourishes, because we know that's his pride and joy. But everything else as well, there'll be no favouritism. Everything will benefit greatly from having Joe on board. But yeah, I'll tip my hat to Jono Simpson as well, because he's done a great job in the last short while, just as David Johnson and everyone else before him as well. Hey, Trucker, Fuji next week, third last round for the Porsche. The open split's looking okay at the moment. It's quite competitive.
It certainly is competitive. Unfortunately, I think Adam might have taken a bit of a hit in the points tonight, but he finished well in race 1. So he's had a lot of luck this season. He'll be the first one to admit that, whereas I've probably had the pace in the open class, and I've just had rotten luck right the way through. Getting caught up in first lap incidences or silly little mistakes, and a pinch brake spears you off. And it's been two sides of the same coin. One, it's been gratifying that I've actually got a bit of pace in the Porsche now, but it's incredibly frustrating that I had a strong start to the season, and luck and a bit of bad management on my behalf has sort of squandered away the advantage I had early on. So I doubt I'll catch Adam for the championship now, even if I ace the last 3 rounds. He's got a fairly sizable lead over me, but if I can consolidate second overall, I'll be happy.
All right, mate, very nicely done. We're almost at 10:30, so we're almost at the cut-off time here. But thanks for stopping on by and having a chat to us. We greatly appreciate that, and looking forward to liaising with you more as the season goes on, and then into, of course, the off-season in 2024. Well done tonight, and looking forward to next week in Fuji.
Thank you, Zach. Thanks, guys. Cheers, Grant.
And, of course, we'll catch up with you on Monday night as well in the Ferrari. So a double hit of Fuji next week, and we're excited about that. Grant, Driver of the Night nominations from you, please.
Oh, dear. I'm going to give Tony Baker a bit of a nod there. He had a little bit misfortune in the V's, but he's been travelling well in that class, and to do so well in the open split, it's obviously a track he's very comfortable with. I thought he had a exceptional race there, closely followed by the other open guys who are very sensible in the way they went about their racing and didn't fight the elite guys too much. But I'd like to doff me hat to Tony Baker this evening.
All right, very nicely done. Just going back to what Joe was saying about liaising with the members, dealing with the members, and the like, what I will say is just remember, you can't keep 100% of everybody happy. Just look at Anastasia Palaszczuk and me, for instance.
There you go. I knew you'd work it around somehow.
Hey, he's never been one to delve into politics or daylight savings time. Oh, the bingo's done.
Or the Ipswich Council.
I'll be dealing with Ipswich City Council on Saturday morning. Got to go back into that mad nut house before too long. It's been nice working remotely for an Ipswich-based radio station these last 7 weeks. Anyway, very nicely done, gentlemen. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, let's continue on here and put a full stop on Thursday Night Motorsport on the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club. Nice to have Grant Gill making a cameo appearance. He's either making cameo appearances as the director or as a co-commentator, or as a lead commentator filling in for me, or as a driver this season. He's absolutely everywhere, but his name's not Eddie. Just remember that. His name is Grant. Hey, let's press on and thank all the people that make it possible for us to do what we do here on the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club. Waste Options, Spreyton Cider, All Big Australia Login Systems, and Player One Sim Gear, along with Lobesy Racing, M-Wave Australia, and flash graphics. Couldn't do Thursday Night Motorsport, let alone Monday or Wednesday without any of them. And speaking of which, let's have a look at what's coming your way on platforms of the GSRC throughout the course of, well, what's left of week 7 into week 8 of term 4. Can you believe we're just about done here for 2023? It is extraordinary. My screen has somewhat just gone away from me. Here it is. It's back now. That's good. IndyCar tomorrow night, Circuit de Neves Magny Core. That's first up, 8:30 Eastern Daylight Time. We need to stress that all times Eastern Daylight Time. I'm looking at my computer screen, and it's saying 10:30, and then I'm looking at my phone screen, and it's lying to me saying 9:30. But that's okay. Mountain Men Saturday night in the Riley prototype in the Legacy. That's 8:30 Eastern, and that's 32 laps there. Sunday, nothing this week after the Enduro last week. Monday, we're back with you with Super 2, the Chicago Street Circuit first up for Player One Sim Gear. Then on to the Fuji International Speedway. I told you we had a double hit of Fuji next week. Look at that. GT3 series around there with thanks to Waste Options. We will be bringing you the Pro Split broadcast on this occasion. Then, of course, Tuesday night, the up-and-comers, the Mazda MX-5s from Tsukuba. 3 races there. Then, of course, the GT1 Civil War, New Hampshire, the road course there. That's a beauty from all reports. I've not actually had the chance to watch any racing on that yet, but Grant tells me it's a beauty. New Hampshire road course, 9:40 Eastern Daylight Time, 35 minutes the journey there. Wednesday night, Schulte and, I'm hoping Schulte and also Daniel Carrera back with you. New Hampshire road course for the Downforce Legends getting a double workout next week. And then, of course, on to Circuit Park Zandvoort for 40 minutes of Orvic Australia GT4. And then Spreyton side of Thursday Night Motorsport takes us first up to the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve in Montreal, Canada. Whatever you're doing next Thursday night, don't miss that. Be here, be front and centre, be square for what will be some of the best slipstreaming battling you'll see all season long in Spreyton side of Formula V. That will be the main course leading into the dessert, which is just a gentle 60-minute stroll around the Fuji circuit for some Porsche Cup action. So we're looking forward to that. But yes, main course Thursday night, first up, 7:40 Eastern Daylight Time. Be here or be square. All right, done and dusted. Hope you enjoyed it. We got there in the end. An interesting night at the office. Not without its drama for drivers and commentators and committee members alike. And I'm looking at Chapo on that note. He's had a win taken away from him. He's had one that he's let slip out of his own grasp. But at least he was competitive. At least he got some airtime. And then, of course, Adam Lavis has been in the wars on a couple of occasions. But a relatively clean night at the top end of town, if your name was Sam Muir in the Porsche Cup. And Adam Proctor actually just let the seas part and come to him in race 3 of Formula V as well. Great racing as always. Hope you enjoyed it at home. We hope you'll join us again next week for week 8 of term 4 of 2023 on the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club. Going strong in season 15 on behalf of Grant Gill, Daniel Carrera and the entire broadcast commentary and production team here. We look forward to your company on Monday night. Until then, enjoy whatever's on the television throughout the course of the weekend and whatever's happening around your region. Plenty of local sport this time of the year, mainly cricket, but also baseball, softball, and a few other summer sports creeping into full swing. So too golf as well. Cricket World Cup heading towards the business end with the Aussies and Glen Maxwell doing amazing things. There's also the Motorsport from Mount Panorama. I just want to say on that note, good luck to everyone competing in Bathurst this weekend at the International. Good luck to those in Tasmania competing in the final round of the XL Championship for the state series down there. The Formula V National Challenges down there as well. And the XL Enduro in South Australia has drawn big numbers and some superstars onto the grid there too. So lots of great motorsport to see, not just at Bathurst this weekend. And of course, we're heading towards the checkered flag in season 2023 there as well. Hope you've enjoyed it. We'll look forward to your company Monday night. Until then, have a great weekend, folks. Bye for now.